Good morning, everyone. Stacy Alcorn here. I am excited to be back this month for our first Friday of every month. Just a boot camp of tools, training, technology. So we put this program on each month. A big chunk of it is for our own agents. So at Lair Realty, we have about 550 real estate agents. But many of the people that attend our monthly boot camp program are also agents from other firms. No matter what, whether you work at Lair or you're not at Lair, most of the tools, training, technology, all of our training at Lair is available to agents at any firm. So 90% of the stuff we're going to talk about today, you have access to regardless of where you work. And then there'll be a few things throughout the program, such as some of our marketing stuff that might not apply to you if you're not a real estate agent at Lair. With that, I want to kick off today's program. What you are looking at right now is the Lair Program and Services Guide. We put this together in November, and we're going to continue to build off of this as we add new tools, training, technology. So it's like a one-stop shop for where you can get access to everything. If you're currently not at Lair, we're going to have Sergio upload this PDF into the chat box within Zoom, and he'll also share it on the Facebook. If you're watching this through Facebook Live, Sergio will share it on the Facebook Live as well so that you can download it and just refer back to it later. I do want to point out that this is a PDF version of our program and services guide. And throughout the guide, you'll see links embedded on pretty much every page. Because our whole idea of this guide is that we didn't want you to have to go somewhere else to get more information. So we embedded links. So if we talk about a training program, you could just click on the link to that training program and it'll take you over to it. If we talk about a listing presentation or a buyer presentation or a specific marketing piece, you could just click on the link and it will take you over to that piece of the program. So you're going to get the opportunity to hear today from several of our team members at Lair as they talk about specific pieces of technology or training or access to tools. So with that, I want to dig in. By the way, I know today we're scheduled for a 3-hour program. I'm going to try to get everybody out earlier than that. And I think with this new condensed guide, it's going to be so much easier for us to get through all the important pieces that will help you grow your business for 2021. So I'm going to dig right in. First of all, I like to always talk about where we came from. The first few pages of this guide are our Lair cultural values. We've built out these values over the last several years. You'll see that there's several different value propositions, a total of 30 that we've built out over the last 6 years. As many of you know, our goal when we launched Lair 6 years ago is we wanted to be the biggest real estate company as far as transactions in New England. So our goal is to be the #1 real estate brand in New England with the lowest agent count. So what that means is traditionally real estate brokerages, and this is not every brokerage, but traditionally the way real estate brokerages grow is that they just keep adding agents, adding agents, adding agents. And while of course we're focused on adding great real estate agents to our company, our motto is to keep adding tools, keep adding tools, keep adding tools. So instead of spending 80% of our time recruiting new talent to our company, we spend 80% of our time adding new tools, new training, new technology to grow the people we have. And in the process of that, we start attracting more great agents to our company. So I always like to talk about where the Lair name came from. Just so you can go back and look at our logo. Lair was launched just over 6 years ago. And like I said, our goal was to build the #1 real estate brand. Our goal is to eventually to become #1 in New England. To be #1 in New England, we need to be helping about 20,000 families a year buy and sell real estate. Where we are right now is we are a top 10 real estate brand in New England based on the number of transactions we close. Of all the top 10 companies in New England, we are the smallest in agent count. So we have about 550 agents, and of course, we're still growing. And where we got the name from is when we launched Lair, I had hired a branding agency, and they had asked, what is the goal of your company? And I said, we're going to just go after the best real estate agents. We're going to attract the best real estate agents, and we're going to give them amazing tools to help them grow their own real estate businesses. So then the branding agency said, oh, well, what is a great real estate agent? What does a great real estate agent look like? I said, the best agents are strong. They are negotiators of difficult terrain. They are protectors of their clients. So the branding agency said to me, put those words into a Google search. All the qualities of the best agents, put those words into a Google search and see what happens when you search those words. So I did that, went into Google, I typed strong, negotiator, protector. When I did that, a lion came up in our search. So I said, oh, that's it. We're going to build our brand around the lions of real estate. In the jungle, lions hang out in lairs. In the real estate world, the lions of real estate are at Lair. By the way, we changed up the spelling of the traditional word Lair. Our spelling, LAER, which stands for Local Agents Extraordinary Results. The reason we changed the spelling of our Lair is because it's the mirror image of real, since we're in the real estate business. So what I like to remind our agents and our customers, and as you're thinking about this, think about your next listing presentation, talking about this, where the history of Lair came from. I like to remind our agents and customers that sometimes you see driving around, you'll see a lion statue in front of a walkway or in front of a house. That is because the lion is a symbol of protection for that home. We look at it that there is a new symbol of protection for real estate across New England, and it is the Lair for sale sign. So like I said, where we stand today is we are a top 10 real estate brand in New England, 550 agents. We do about $1.2 billion a year in business, and we're still a very young company. We'll turn 7 years old in April. That also, by the way, places us as a top 500 real estate company in the entire country and a top 100 independent real estate brokerage. So let's dig in. I'm not going to bore everybody by going through each of our cultural values, but the important thing to note is that we do have cultural values. Like, we put together these because these cultural values help us determine who the best agents are that would fit into our company. Like, we want to attract agents who are always working on themselves. We want to attract agents who are ridiculously helpful when it comes to somebody, a colleague or a customer that needs help. And if you go through these, some of them are, for example, assume positive intent. So when something happens in a transaction, assume positive intent by all the parties. So as you go through these, what you'll see is the reason we've grown so quickly to a top 10 real estate brand in New England is because we have defined the type of people that would thrive in our environment. And the type of people that would thrive in our environment are the ones that look at these 30 cultural values and kind of click through them and say, yeah, that's me. I'm the kind of person that takes ownership. I'm the kind of person that tells people how it is. I speak straight. I listen generously. I embrace change. I make quality personal to me. So as you're going through this, as I mentioned, Sergio is putting this guide into the chat box in case you don't have it. Also, if you are a Lair agent, you can go into our career den and you'll see it in the articles right in the last few, I'd say 10 days, and I'll show it to you when we get over to that section. You can download the guide. One other quick point for Lair agents is that we are adding tools at a rapid pace. So for example, this says November 2020 on the front cover. We're going to have another version of this already going out in the next 5 or 6 days, a December 2020 version, because we're adding new tools, always adding new tools. So when you are referring to this guide, you'll just want to make sure that you have the most current version of the guide, because we are coming out with another one in December, as we just are about to release a new Lair mentorship program. We have another one coming out in January as we're about to launch our new partnership with AdWorks. So make sure that you are working off of the most current version of the tools guide. Now, the second page of, or the next section of this just talks about the boot camp. I appreciate everybody coming on to today's program. I see many of you were on last month's program too. In fact, we encourage this. What we know is that there's just so much that goes into being a successful real estate agent. And what happens is when agents sit through 2 hours or 3 hours of all the things they need to be doing in order to build a phenomenal business, what happens is they get sometimes overwhelmed. So what I always tell real estate agents when you're sitting through the boot camp, just make a list of the 5 things that you're going to do. So as you're watching today, take some notes and then say, these are the 5 things I'm going to work on before the end of the year. Now we do this boot camp it's the first Friday of every month. So come on next month and say, okay, I'm going to watch it again, because it's awesome to have the refresher of all the tools that real estate agents have access to. And then next month, you could take a different 5 things. And one of my favorite business philosophies, it's called Kaizen. It's a Japanese business philosophy. And what Kaizen says is that sometimes in life, we get so overwhelmed by looking at the big picture. So if you're newer in real estate, for example, you might sit through this boot camp and say, holy cow, how am I going to do all of these things? I got to build social media campaigns, a CRM system. I got to utilize marketing, learn better ways to help my clients search for real estate, learn new technology. When you look at it from that big of a picture, it can be so overwhelming. What Kaizen says, this Japanese business philosophy, make one tiny tweak each day in your business, just a minor change in your business each day, one little thing. At the end of 1 year, you will have made such enormous progress in your business that you will have outpaced many of your peers who looked at the big picture and said, holy cow, and they get stunted. So don't worry about seeing it all and saying, all right, I have to go bury my head in the sand and learn 50 new things for my business. Just say, here's the 5 things that I'm going to do to build a better business. And then you can come back next month and take 5 other little things. What's interesting about our business is as you organize your business, you also have to be doing business, or you're not going to have longevity in the business. At the end of the day, you have to be belly to belly with buyers and sellers. So you got to be out doing the business, but you should be carving out just a little time each day to get better at your business. So maybe it's 30 minutes and it's learning how to dive into cloud CMA so that you could build a better CMA. Or maybe it's doing that with RPR, or maybe it's learning to put your clients into a marketing campaign using a CRM or any of the ISACT stuff that we have, or any CRM system. Don't get paralyzed by the big picture of your real estate business. Think about Kaizen, think about the tiny little steps you can take, because if you get paralyzed, there's no progress. It's the little teeny tweaks you make to your business each day. By the way, this click, so I mentioned earlier that when you look at this, this guide, the program and services guide, anything that is underlined is a link. And interestingly, most of the links, even if you are not currently an agent at Lair, most of the links will still work. Not 100%. If you're at Lair, 100% of the links will take you to stuff. There's a few things that are behind Lair walls, like our career den, but for the most part, most of our stuff is accessible to agents from any firm. The reason I want to point that out is that if you're going to come back to the boot camp, maybe in January or February, again, it's the first Friday of every month, you could just click here and it's going to take you back to our Zoom meeting link. You can take it through Zoom, or you can join us on the ROAR group anytime. Okay, so the first piece of the first tool I like to cover during our monthly boot camp is the Happy Agent team. So the way that agents get support at Lair is a little different than how it gets done at a traditional real estate company. And by the way, we did it as a traditional real estate company did for many, many years. The way traditional real estate companies work is you have an administrator sitting at your front desk that if you need help with something, you just say to your administrator at your front desk, when you step into the office, you say, hey, I need this done, and that person can help you. Now, we've been in the process of changing our whole system to get our agents the best and most efficient support. We have been in that process for 2 years. So when COVID-19 hit, we had shutdowns and we no longer could put administrators at the front desk of 30 offices because the state had shut down. We were prepared for that because we had been honing our Happy Agent team for so long that we really never missed a beat. The way Happy Agent works is it's a customer service portal. It is available to our agents 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. You can email or you can text. So you can email happyagent@lairrealty.com, or you can text. It has its own text line, which is in there. You can email or text anything that you need help with. So on this document, we put a list of the common things that come through to the Happy Agent team. Now, first, I like to explain what happens when those requests come through. So a request comes through to the Happy Agent team. We have several eyeballs on that request. Usually within about 10 minutes, the request then gets assigned to one Happy Agent team member who is best suited to help the agent with whatever they need help with. Now, the reason why we do it that way is so that, number one, no agent can ever fall through the cracks because we have too many eyeballs on it when the request comes through to the customer support team. Secondly, because we're assigning the task to the one Happy Agent team member, the staff member, to the one person who is best suited to get the job done, it allows us through the back end of our system, our Happy Agent system, to make sure that the Happy Agent team didn't forget or leave somebody hanging. In fact, the Happy Agent team members can also go in and they can see their open queues, who's still waiting for help from them or who needs immediate help. So to us, it provides a way for super high accountability so that our agents are always well taken care of. So the types of questions that come through to Happy Agent are, a lot of times it's legal questions or deal help, like advice on real estate matters, Sometimes it's like tracking down a check. It could be somebody just needs help with any of our tools, resetting passwords on our mobile deposit, questions on using any of the like Real Scout, Isact, Boston Logic. Oftentimes we have a killer loop team. We're going to hear from Erica shortly. We have a team at Lair that all they do is approve loops for agents to help move transactions towards closing. So sometimes the questions that come through are specific questions about how to get a loop approved. Oftentimes the questions coming through are also about how to properly fill out an important document that is required as part of the real estate transaction. It could be questions that an agent has on a pay stub, assistance filling out our online check request, a question about upcoming classes. The point is, we encourage our agents to ask us anything. Interestingly, occasionally we even get requests that come through. We had one come through yesterday because we advertise our support system on lairrealty.com, our company website. And occasionally requests even come through from agents at other real estate companies who can't get a question answered at their brokerage. So they say, hey, I'll try the Happy Agent system at Lair, and they send over questions. So again, this is our way of making sure our agents constantly have support, even though under under COVID-19 and things like that, there's no longer always an administrator sitting at front desk at a particular office. Our agents still have the support they need for anything. So next I want to move down to .loop. So a couple things that I want to talk about, and then I'm going to have Erica, who helps head up our .loop team at Lair, talk about .loop a little further. So .loop is our preferred transaction management system. Now, a couple things I like to point out about this. So every transaction that we do at Lair, buy side, list side, regardless of state, it ends up in .loop. We have an amazing .loop team. They know so much about .loop that typically if the agent has a question about doing like expanding, sometimes I just saw a question come through recently on our Happy Agent system. An agent wanted to add a box onto an existing form, like a box where their client could type in information. And at some companies, I would imagine that question goes to .loop because there's nobody in-house that can answer it. We have an amazing team, and I think it's because we have team members that's all they do at our company. Their main focus 24/7 at Lair is just getting these loops approved so we can get agents paid quickly on transactions. Now, if you go to Lair University, and I'm going to take you guys on a tour of Lair University shortly, but you'll see we have an entire .loop section. So what our .loop team has done is, as we see questions that come up again and again from the Happy Agent team. So for example, if agents are constantly sending in a specific question about .loop, we just go and record a quick little tutorial and we put it on Lair University. So what you'll see on Lair University is we have an entire section just dedicated to .loop. For example, if you're new to real estate and you have no idea how to even do a loop, then you can go to Lair University, to the .loop training classes. You pick, is it a Massachusetts buy-side loop? Is it a Massachusetts list-side loop? Is it a New Hampshire buy-side loop? Is it a New Hampshire list-side loop? By the way, we're building those out for Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Maine, because what's interesting is the forms differ slightly depending on what state you're doing business in. We set it up so that it's super organized for our agents. So there are certain forms in each state that are required by law. Our .loop team has it so organized that if you pick Mass Buy-Side Loop, it's going to pull the forms that we know that you're going to need. So you'll find all of that training on how to complete a lead paint form. You'll find under the .loop section, how to auto-populate forms and assign roles, how to start a loop, making sure you're in the right loop. Now, the reason that we make sure these loops are so accurate is because at Lair, all of this feeds into our bookkeeping system. So many of you, if you're working at Lair, you know that every morning you will get an email report from our accounting team of all the new listings under agreement and sold properties at Lair for the last 48 hours. So it's our Lair DLE hot list. And it's all pulling, that information pulls from a few different areas. So our accounting systems pull from .loop, pulls from all the MLSs, because we're involved in multiple MLSs, and it pulls all that information and sends out a report to our agents every day, saying these are all the new listings under agreement properties and the sold properties. And it's typically for like a 2 to 3 day period. Now, the reason we do that is, first of all, we want you to know all the new listings that are coming on from your Lair peers. So you get to see right away that a peer in another Lair agent just listed a property. But we also like that report. Now, this year might be an exception because it still seems like spring market is still happening. But sometimes in years past, what happens during the winter months is that agents think there's no business happening. So they tend to not do the things they're supposed to do to continue to grow their business in December and January because they think the business has slowed down. We like our agents to see that there is always, even on the slowest possible day of the year, we're still processing a lot of transactions. There's still new business coming on the market. There's still closings happening. I do want to point out before I ask Erica to talk for a few minutes that yes, .loop is owned by Zillow. So what happens throughout the year is occasionally agents will read an article on Inman and they'll reach out and say, oh, I just found out from Inman or some other place that .loop is owned by Zillow and that I don't want my information, my client information, getting to Zillow. So my first thing I like to talk about there is that we have opted out. So each year, .loop puts out a form where you can opt in or opt out of sharing the information from .loop to Zillow. We make it clear every year that we opt out of that. So at Lair Realty in .loop, your information, your client information is not getting shared to Zillow. That's number one. Number two, I do like to remind agents that 90% of the information is eventually public anyways. So like the price of the property, I mean, all of this is public information once the deal closes. But I get it. We don't want our Zillow having the client's name and phone number and email address. Let them go track it down another way. But all the other stuff, purchase price, date of closing, what type of mortgage, what kind of interest rate, all of that is public information once a deal ends up closing. And it gets recorded with the Registry of Deeds, which is a public place to dig out all that information. So with that, I want to invite Erica Baez, who helps head up our .loop team, to talk a little bit about how .loop works, at least within Lair.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Stacy. All right, so I wanted to talk to you about a few things, .loop being one, and also on how to get paid. So .loop is our transaction platform where we create deals. Once your account is set up, you are able to create loops, which become your digital file. During your transaction, the .loop team will access your loop to review documents. So it's recommended that you name your transaction by the property address for ease of search. So when the .loop team is ready to review your file, it's easy if the file name matches the property address. Sometimes people name the file under the client's name, and the .loop team will have a little trouble finding it. So it's so much easier and so much faster if we can name it just to match the property address. .loop is digital, but we understand that sometimes that doesn't work for everyone. There are clients that they don't know how to use the computer so well, or they just prefer wet signatures, and that's okay too. All our templates and all the files in .loop, we can easily download them, print them, and then put on the wet signatures and go ahead and upload them again. So it's really easy to download and upload files as well. Once you're ready for the .loop team to review your file for approval, there is a submit for review button on the top page towards the top right, where you should click. If all required information has been filled in properly, the details such as the property address, the client's name and information, then a window will appear asking for which folders you're requesting the approval on. Whether it be a purchase folder, a listing folder, or for a rental. Once it's submitted, the .loop team will be prompted and someone at the .loop desk will begin reviewing your file. So once you go ahead and click submit for review, the .loop team is prompted that, okay, this file is ready for approval. We're going to go ahead and get in there. If there's anything missing or any questions for you, the .loop team will send you a note through your .loop, which you would receive through email as well as in your loop. So you may respond replying to the email or opening up the note section in your loop and responding there, whichever way is easier for you. Either way, the .loop team will get the notice. Once a folder status has changed from needs review to approved, you will also be prompted. So this means that you'll be able to see once someone on the .loop desk is currently reviewing your file. All loops need to be approved before we're able to cut checks. We have a team dedicated to reviewing loops for approval and a protocol to expedite that to make it as seamless as possible. .loop has so many features. Lair has conveniently added required, mandatory, and optional templates to the .loop. So you can find just about any form you need. And if there's something that's not there, just please reach out to happyagent@lairrealty.com and we'll get it for you. When you first use it, you might feel like there's so many things, but once you start using it and getting the hang of it, you're really gonna love it. It's a lot of fun. Another thing I'd like to talk about too is mobile deposits. We've set up an enterprise business mobile app, which is user-friendly and a convenient way for staff and agents to make deposits. Once an agent has set up the app, they can make the deposits on site immediately as soon as they have the checks. Agents who use the mobile deposit no longer need to wait for an admin to handle deposits. The deposits will appear and process in the bank sweep the following business day if made before 3 p.m. Then is when you'd receive a confirmation email from escrow@lairrealty.com, which would include the image of the check. We used to find ourselves chasing checks and sending out company-wide emails to figure out whose check were whose. Now with the mobile deposit, we've cut that down to almost nothing. With the mobile deposit app, it's easier for agents to collect escrow and finally bind their transactions. So convenient that now agents can deposit their closing checks during their closings. We have a check request system in which once your check request has been submitted using the Lair Career Den, accounting and the .loop team will immediately be notified. This notification will prompt the .loop team to make sure your loop is in order. Once that is so, your file will be sent up to accounting for check disbursement. Accounting will follow up with you as to when to expect your checks, usually within 72 hours, sometimes even sooner than that. But your loop has to be approved. So the check submission and the loop approval, they come hand in hand for the check disbursement. It's good practice that you submit your file for review at least a week before your closing. That way, if there's anything you need or anything missing or any documents that are incomplete, you and the Dot Loop team can work together to get that finalized and approved for commission. If you have any questions about checks, payments, check requests, loops, actually literally any question at all, please reach out to happyagent@lairrealty.com and a knowledgeable and dedicated staff member will assist you right away. Also, if you have any questions now, please go ahead and send something on the chat or any notices.
A couple questions that actually we had 2 agents ask this pretty much the same question on the chat. One question is, how can they remove, is there any way in Loop to remove files that are closed? And is there any way they can just delete an unwanted loop that they don't need at all anymore?
So we cannot delete or remove anything. The closest to remove the removal is to archive it, where it won't show up, but we cannot delete anything on the Dot Loop.
Okay, so, and then what about, if a deal is closed, can they archive it?
They can archive the file, but it doesn't delete the file.
Okay.
It'll archive it so that way, if they don't want to see it in their account, they don't need to see it.
Okay. So just an answer to both those questions that came through, which was just on organizing your Dot Loop so that you're really only seeing your active transactions, is you can feel free to archive your closed transactions or deleted transactions, and you'll only see your active transactions. By the way, this is a good reminder for anybody that if you do have questions, feel free to type them into the chat box, or if you're on Facebook, we have a team that's watching questions come through, and we'll do our best to get to all of them. And I think that's it, unless you have anything else, Erica.
I think that's it. If there's any other questions, please feel free to hit up the chat or happyagent@lairrealty.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you.
All right, next I want to move on to the Lair Career Den. I'm going to take you guys on a tour of Lair Career Den, but before I do that, I want to talk about this specific program and services guide. So under the program and services guide, as I mentioned before, anything that is a link, like anything that's underlined is a link. So we did this to make it so easy for our agents to find the stuff that they're typically looking for in their business. So for example, we get agents that will email us through Happy Agent and they say, hey, I need Lair logos. If you click on this Lair logos button, it is going to take you to the Career Den and right to the folder that has all the logos in it. If you need a Lair Zoom background, oftentimes they get, after the boot camp, agents will say, hey, I want that cool background that you had for my Zoom meetings. If you click on this little Lair Zoom backgrounds, it's going to take you to our Career Den, right to the folder that has all of the Lair Zoom backgrounds. So I encourage you to go through and look at each of these things. The reason we ordered it this particular way is because these are the things our agents asked Happy Agent for. So none of this is by accident. We get agents asking us, where can I find the Lair listing and buyer presentations? If you click there, it's going to take you to the Career Den. Lair brochures, a Lair marketing plan. Where can I get a pre-listing guide, a consumer brochure? Logos, Zoom backgrounds, open house materials, market research, Lair sustainability, video marketing, business planning tools, scripts and dialogues, affirmation cards and posters, team guides and checklists, Kids Corner. Now you'll see there's a couple things that we did not highlight here, that we didn't make clickable links. The reason for that is because there's some stuff that gets posted and added every single month. So we didn't want to put a link because it's not going to be accurate 30 days later, because we add new links every month. So once a month, our marketing team creates a beautiful newsletter that you can customize for your sphere of influence, and it is called the ROAR Report. That link changes every month because we put out a new ROAR report every month. We also put out new social media posts for our agents every single month. So I'm going to take you guys into the back end of our Career Den to look at a few of these things. but every month the social media for the next month comes out on the 15th of the previous month. So what that means is on December 15th, every agent at Lair will receive an email from the Career Den saying, hey, your social media posts for January have been released. And I'll show you how we release them. You can either just download them as a JPEG or a PNG file, or if you have Canva, you can go in and update those. We also publish top 25 agent lists on a monthly basis on the Career Den. We do 2 lists. One is by transaction count and one is by volume. You can also email peers within your office through email, our office email list. We have a Lair people finder. So if you're trying to find a particular agent of the 550 agents at Lair, you can find it there. We have a section of important websites we think that agents might want to use in their business. And the Lair training calendar. One little one, only because this comes up almost every day, we get a request of some sort, is under important brokerage documents and licenses. Those are all on the Career Den. So we get requests all the time of agents that need a copy of our broker license, or they need a copy of our errors and omissions insurance or liability insurance, or a W-9 form. Now, don't worry, you can definitely email Happy Agent and say, hey, I need a copy of our brokerage license, or I need a copy of our E&O insurance for my bank-owned vendor. You can email Happy Agent and the Happy Agent team will just email it to you. But I do like to point out, and I'll show it to you when we get into the back end of the Career Den, how you can find all that, because we've put everything into this Career Den. We constantly add to it and reorganize it. Our goal is that everything you need to run a very successful real estate business has been provided to you. And a big chunk of that is through the Lair Career Den. So one other piece before I take you guys into the back end of our system is I mentioned that we have many agents who are watching the boot camp today and you're not at Lair. Our goal is that we wanted this program to be helpful to an agent, whether or not you're currently at Lair or not. This is the only section that you really can't get into, whereas like our training programs, stuff like that, you can have our access to that through Lair University. This piece is kind of just locked down for the agents who are currently at Lair. So, and a lot of this wouldn't be helpful to you unless you're here anyways. You wouldn't need a Lair listing presentation or a buyer presentation or Lair logos, etc. With that, I want to take you guys over. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a sec and take you over. So to get into the Career Den, a couple things I like to point out is you just have to go to www.laircareerden.com. Our Career Den is powered by Jostle, so Jostle. The reason that is important to you is that you may not be aware that there is an awesome app so that you can download all kinds of information. You can have full access to many of the tools that we offer through your cell phone and the app. The way to download the app is go into the iTunes store or to the Google Play Store and download, just got to find the Zoom button again. Just download Jostle. So Jostle is the name of the app. So download the Jostle app. And when you download it, when it opens, it's just going to ask you for your email address. and you put in your Lair email address, and it'll help you. You basically just sign into the career den. So super easy to use. And the advantage of doing that is that you get access to the career den, even if you're not at a computer. You can access stuff from your phone, etc. And a lot of times agents do that. So for example, let's just say they need a W-9 form to send to another brokerage. They can go into the Jostle app from their phone and download the W-9 app, W-9, and email it directly. All right, so I'm hoping that you guys all see the back end of the Lair Career Den right now. So the way that the Career Den is organized is, first of all, right on the main page. So just right, if you look at the upper left top hand button, the very first piece of the Career Den is the news board. So there's a couple things to note about this news board. First of all, we've put over on the left-hand side agents' birthdays. So when you log in each day, we want all our agents to know whose birthday it is today. So you'll just get to see whose birthday. And we also put in automatically company anniversary dates. So agents that joined a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So you'll see that over on the left-hand side. I do want to note that you can do a shout out. So the whole idea of this is to recognize agents. So we do it automatically with birthdays and anniversary dates, but anybody can do a shout out. And so I'm going to do a shout out. So the first two questions that came through when we were doing .loop today is Mark Tavener and Turan. So anybody can go in and do a shout out to a peer. I can add a photo here if I want to, but otherwise I'm just going to do a shout out. So if you want to do a shout out to anybody, you can do a shout out to one of our staff members on the Happy Agent team or another agent. All you have to do is @ and type their name, and it'll start showing you all the people, and you narrow it down to the person you're looking for, and you do the shout out. So that's that little piece over on the left-hand side. The next piece I like to show is this whole bulletin board. I mean, this bulletin board we update almost every day. There's a new post on the bulletin board. Now, for Lair agents, couple things I want you to know is that sometimes we think it's really important that every agent see the newest article that we've posted. In those instances, you will get an email. So for example, many agents love knowing the top 25 lists each month. Who are the top 25 agents in each office for the month. So because we know agents want that information, we make it so that an email notification goes out to all 550 plus agents. The agents get an email from Lair Career Den, and it'll say, hey, the top 25 agent and teams for October has been released. So we also recognize that our agents don't want to get an email every single time we put out something new. So we don't always do it, just when we think it's something that our agents would really want to know about. So here is where we publish information that's happening at the company. So this week I sent out an email to our entire company talking about a partnership we're doing with AdWorks that will go live at the end of January. So if you click on this article, it tells you all about this new partnership and what it means. So you can like it, you can email it to yourself. So the reason we have this little email button is sometimes agents want to email the article to themselves and put it into a folder in their Gmail. so that they can check it out later. So they might have a folder in their Gmail that says important articles to check out. You could email it to yourself. You'll see every Monday. So every Monday morning, I do send out a Monday motivation email. I write that myself, just so you guys know. It's not, I don't hire a company to write my stuff. I put out thoughts about things for you to think about in your business and life. So that gets published here. Here we got one from our Chief Sustainability Officer, Craig Foley, who regularly puts in great information for agents that are building successful real estate businesses focused on sustainability. So this week he put out an article about new MLS pin solar fields. Here's our new most recent Lair program and services guide. This is also where you will see every month we publish the new ROAR report. So once a month, our marketing team creates a ROAR report. And this is a newsletter. So I'm going to see if I can open it and share it with you. So this ROAR report comes out once a month, and it is in a Word document format. There's a couple different formats using 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17 paper. I might have to reshare my screen once this opens. Let's see. So a couple things I want you to know as this ROAR report opens, and I'll show you guys a little bit. I'm going to this is how the ROAR report gets published each month. So this is a Word document. The reason we publish it as a Word document is many of our agents like to do their own customization of the ROAR report. So our marketing team creates it just like this. And you'll see we put these big red circles and these big yellow call outs so that the agent knows what areas of this newsletter they have to customize. So the agent will go through quickly and add their name, their phone number, email address, contact info. So this is the 8.5 by 11. It's a 4-page ROAR report or newsletter. This one's a December one, so there's more stuff about the holidays and things like that. But I want to point out a couple different things. So it comes out in 2 versions, 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17. That's number one. We do it as a Word document because we want it to be easy for you to customize. Many agents like to customize it on their own. What they do is all of it is customizable. So sometimes agents will like cut out a whole section and put in a mortgage company or their favorite attorney. The reason for that is because that mortgage person or the attorney might pay for them, the agent, to mail that to their sphere of influence. So oftentimes you'll see in sections cut out so that the agent can put their own advertisers into this. It's also awesome that if you have like a vendor directory, that you can put your plumbers, your painters, all the people that you work with regularly. So I know agents that are sending this out to their sphere of influence on a monthly basis, and it costs them $0. And that is because they have subsidized advertising on this. So that's number one. You can also put listings. So agents will go in and cut out an article section here and put in a new listing that just came on the market. The way agents use these is some agents print them. So you'll see on the back, it's all set up that you can actually mail these. So the way they get mailed is you fold them. So they get folded in a staple and they can get mailed out. So I do see many agents mail them on a monthly basis as well. Many agents just have them as an extra item that they could put into their listing presentation, like what you give out at the listing table, or that you leave out at an open house. I also, before COVID, I don't know if people still do this, you'd see these at like sub shops or restaurants. Agents would use these as a marketing piece that they could leave out at different locations. We've been doing the ROAR report for about 5 years. What that just tells you is that agents use it. Because what we do is we constantly reevaluate the tools that we offer our agents. And sometimes the tools don't seem to work anymore. I brought this up when I emailed out our agents recently because we had an 18-month contract with Waze. And we said, hey, let's try it. Let's see if it brings us business. By the end of 18 months, we reevaluate. We said, you know what, the Waze thing isn't working. Let's go try AdWorks. When you see something that has longevity at our company, what it should just tell you is it's a tool that seems to be working for other agents. And that's why we just keep going with it. And the ROAR report is one of those tools. The last piece I want to say about the ROAR report, we make it very easy for you to customize. But if that's not your thing, you're not interested in customizing, our marketing team can help you. So you can email over to Happy Agent and say, hey, I need this customized, and here's the changes I want for my particular ROAR report. Now, one other thing, by the way, if you print, if you want to print these out, you can print them at any of our 30 plus office locations. We have great printers at all of the locations. You can print them at the office. You could print them at home. If you want help customizing them, you can email the Happy Agent team, and they'll just assign that request over to our marketing team, and they will customize it for you. Now I want to bring up, I'm going to reshare my screen just to get back over. Let's see. Okay, so you should now be back on our career den. The one other piece I want to point out is for mailing ROAR reports. So we do get requests that come through regularly because before COVID, when we had admins sitting at each office for 40 hours a week, our admins would help our agents print these, fold them, mail them. We don't have admins at every office right now because of the rules of having people in offices. Not only that, it's super uncomfortable to be sitting at a front desk wearing a face mask for 8 hours at a time. So we try to really limit the number of admins we have sitting at offices right now until the pandemic is over. So we spent a great deal of time researching better options to help our agents get these reports out, because it is something that's so important to our team. I will tell you that you will not find better pricing for printing and mailing these than Yellow Letters Complete. So right within when we send out each month and say, hey, the ROAR report's ready, at the bottom of that article, you'll see that we put Yellow Letters Complete information in there. Now, if you email info@yellowletterscomplete and say, hey, I need to mail out these ROAR reports, the pricing is here. You're not going to find better pricing anywhere. Trust me. We just went through another company that offered to do ROAR reports for us, and the pricing was double what Yellow Letters Complete has. If we can find better pricing, 100%, we'll update this site. But here you have pricing on what Yellow Letters Complete will do for you. I've personally used Yellow Letters Complete for several mailings this year. If you're at Lair, you know that I like to send out a gift to our agents on Father's Day. I like to send out a gift to our people on Mother's Day. And I used Yellow Letters Complete. Now, in the past, I was just like you guys. I was like, you know what? I really, in the old days, I used to have my admin sitting at my front desk do this for me. So I was a little worried, saying, is it going to be a pain to get these out? I emailed Dave at Yellow Letters Direct. I said, info at Yellow Letters Complete, right here is his email. I emailed him and I said, hey, this is what I want to send out these gifts to my agents. What do I do? Now, mine was a little more complicated because I actually had to send my packages out to him, the stuff I wanted to get mailed out to our agents. This is even easier because you just customize it, or have the Lair marketing team customize it. You email it to him and you give him the list you want to send to. So most agents send these to a sphere of influence and they have a spreadsheet of the people they want to mail to. You send it over to Dave and like within 24 hours, your raw reports are mailed. So check out Yellow Letters Complete. They are amazing. They are amazing. I use them to send out personal note cards. I use them for everything. I'm a firm believer in Yellow Letters Complete. So let's see. That's about it. You'll see anytime we add like a new piece of technology or something we want you to know about, we put it right into this news feed over on the main page. Next section, let me just see. Somebody just asked a couple of good questions. On the raw report email, can a non-Lair agent receive the raw report? Yes, it is possible for us to send it to you. It'll just take a little more customization because you'll have to change out logos, stuff like that, but I can make sure you get that regularly. And then someone said, can you email the raw report to clients? And the answer is yes. Let's go back to that for a second for agents that want to do that. Now, first of all, if you're using the Isaac CRM system, they have a phenomenal newsletter that you could set your people up onto a drip campaign, and you don't need the raw report because they have an awesome monthly newsletter that you can send out to customers. However, let's just say you're using some other service and you want to email the raw report. You can go, if you click through this, click on your December 2020 raw report, it takes you to a page that will show you how to email the report out. So you have to do it as an embedded email. There's a few steps involved. Our Happy Agent team can help you. And yes, we do have agents that do email that out on a monthly basis. I'm back over to the left-hand side of the Lair Career Den. You'll see events. This is our event schedule. So our goal is to have 15, 20 training events, networking, well, less networking, more virtual networking these days. We are constantly adding new training programs to our schedule on a monthly basis. Under events is where you will get the information for those classes. We have a cool discussion board here. The cool piece, there's basically two pieces where agents within Lair discuss stuff. One is here in the Lair Career Den. Let's say that you need assistance, you have a question on best practices for finding vacant lots for a builder. You could go here and put in, I'm looking for agents that have an expertise on vacant lots. I actually think the better place to get your answer faster is on the internal Lair Facebook page, the Lion's Den, only because agents are on there all day putting new listings, coming soon listings, things like that. But sometimes agents put them in both places too. And you'll just see agents put all kinds of questions from, like, you'll see home warranty. First of all, one thing to note is that if in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little search circle or a search magnifying glass. It's always a good idea, just whatever your subject is, to type it in here first, because you'll see if somebody else already posed the question and got the answer that you were looking for. So I just typed in home warranty So somebody was looking for information on home warranties, and I could see that there is already people discussing that. So you could do that with anything. Always not a bad idea just to see if somebody might have already asked a question around that. The next is the Lair People Finder. So we have 550 agents. If you are doing a deal with one of your fellow Lions, you can go up here and into the little magnifying glass, type in their name, and it's going to find that agent. So we'll look up Len. So we found Len Lockery. Now, a couple things I like everybody to know about the People Finder. Number one, you'll find bios for each of the people within our company. Occasionally it might be missing because we didn't get a bio, but not only do we want the general public to know about our agents, we want you to know about the people that you're working with. So you can find, check out their bio. You can also see that we provide all the contact information, birthdays, what office they work out of, and their home address. The reason we do this is because when there's a wedding or a death in the family or something that's happening in the Lair family, oftentimes the agents want to send like just a note card to the home of that person. If you are uncomfortable having your address displayed in there, you can go into the edit button on your page and you can remove anything you want. So we put in your birthday, we put in your home address, we put in your bio. If there's anything you don't like, you can just press the edit button and you could take all that out. The other thing is, I think it's a cool little feature that if I go to, I'm going to go back to the People Finder for a second. And let's say I'm looking to refer a client out to another agent, and I know that my client is fanatical about dogs. So I want to refer them to a Lair agent, but I need somebody that's fanatical about dogs. If I go to the little search button and I put dog, it just put this scrubs through all of our agents' bios to find agents that have referenced dogs within their bio. So that little search button you can use to find a name, a particular agent name, but you can also use it if there's something, a characteristic about that person, like the fact that they love dogs. You can just put it in there and it's going to sort that for you so that then you can go through and find the person that you think would best fit what you're trying to do. Now, last is the heart of this entire back-end career den is our library. The library is jammed packed of information to help you run a successful business. So you can get all of our logos. So you'll see, like, if you click on the logo section, there's the Lair logos, luxury logos, Cape and Islands, commercial, realtor, and MLS. We have entire sections of listing and buyer PowerPoint presentations, Lair brochures and marketing plans, buyer and seller brochures, booklets, guides, flyers. Here you can find the Lair Zoom backgrounds, virtual buyer and seller classes, property brochures. We've got a section on open house materials. Let's just go for a second. I'm going back to seller and buyer presentation. If I go to listing and buyer PowerPoint presentations, if I click on that, it gives me some more folders. Let's just say I want a listing and buyer PowerPoint presentation. I go in there and it's giving me 4 different versions of Lair listing and buyer presentations. Couple things I just want to note is that if you star anything here, when you go to the library, it's going to sort stuff. So when I first logged in into the library section, it said no favorites. If I had stuff that I was using all the time, I could just star that and it would highlight those right when I log in. But over here on the right, it tells you what program you need to open the document. So these are all PowerPoint presentations. So you would need PowerPoint to open any of those. So let's go back. We have open house materials, market research. We're about to take our market research stuff up a notch. So we have some changes coming along on that, only because we decided we wanted to publish monthly market research as images so that it's easier to share on social media. But basically what we will be doing starting in January is when you come to the market research section, you will see market research images for every county in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and that you can download or you can customize if you're using Canva. And also we're going to let our agents know if you need a market research image for a particular town, our marketing team could do that for you too. You'll see a whole section on social media images. These are like images by month. So let's just say that now on a monthly basis, we put out all your social media images, which I forgot to show you guys. I'll show you that in a second. But let's just say that I am super organized, because I said a little while ago, like, we put out your January, we put together all the January social media images you would need for your business, and we send those to you in December 15th. But we do have some agents that like to plan out their social media a year in advance, so that they schedule it out literally a year in advance. And our social media team, it does not have the February images yet. They will release those in January. But we put a ton of images for every month. We have motivational, inspirational images. So like if you go, say you want to post some motivational quotes, you would go here and you'll find something like 300 motivational quote images with Lair logos, etc. You just download it and upload it to your social media. Here's the important brokerage documents I told you about before. The W-9 form, liability insurance, E&O insurance. We have a HUD license, our Mass license, New Hampshire, Maine, how to get reciprocal licensing. These are like the kind of the boring behind the scenes stuff, but these questions come up a lot. So we have a whole section in there. We have a section on video marketing. We have a whole section on training PowerPoints, training workbooks, business planning tools, scripts and dialogues. For example, if you go under scripts and dialogues, we have like a 300-page book of that will help you overcome objections. So it's a Lair scripts book on every possible objection you would ever have in this business. And that's under scripts and dialogues. Every time we do a class, we put the PowerPoints under Lair training PowerPoints so that if agents want to refer back to it later. Lair sustainability, which I'll have Craig talk about in a second, but we have a whole section of Lair sustainability tools, consumer guides, scripts, green appraisal addendums, marketing. We have a section on how to build better teams. So we have a whole book we wrote on how to build a successful real estate team. You'll find it under the team section. It's right here, our Lair team building guide that we published in 2018. Also some awesome checklists for teams so that you can really organize your business. Worksheets. We have tons of prospecting letters. Make these a little bit smaller. Prospecting letters are in there. Section of obscure real estate forms. I always say if you're looking for a real estate form, go to Dotloop first, because we've put a million extra real estate forms in there. Everything from use and occupancy agreements to 48-hour kickout clauses, all kinds of stuff like that. We have a section, a kids corner, that's coloring books and word searches. And then we have like a concierge piece. So some of our concierge partners, all their information is in there. And then a section on competitor marketing. So when an agent gives us like a listing presentation or a marketing piece from a competitor, we go in and add it in here so that it's helpful information that our agents have if they're going up against someone on a listing presentation. Under the team section, This is how you email agents. So you'll see under the team section, it lists all of the office locations, 30 plus office locations. Let's just say that you got a new listing in Chelmsford, or you're looking for a Chelmsford agent to cover an open house for you. You can just go over to the Chelmsford team and you'll see at the very top, I can email that whole team I just click email organizational unit, and then it'll let me pick which team I want to email. And then it'll open my Gmail account and I can email our entire office. Down here, we have a section of important links. These are links that our agents typically go to regularly. These are fair housing areas, like the FHA condo list, Lair apparel store, things like that. And then we have links to the Lair check request. The Lair check request is how our agents get paid. It's an online form. We try to make it as simple as possible for agents to get paid. As Erica mentioned earlier, you got to have a complete loop. You got to fill out a check request and we have to have all the funds. Once all those three things happen, we prepare checks for the agent. And then Lair University, which I'll go over shortly, just a link to that. One piece I want to show, and then I'm going to ask Craig to talk for a few minutes about sustainability and what he does to promote sustainability within our company. The one piece I forgot to show you guys is the monthly social media posts. So once a month, so mid-month, we release all the social media posts for next month. So all this is that we know our agents, we want our agents to have awesome social media content for an entire month. So this is like posts about holidays, motivational quotes, like just cool things to post on their Facebook and Instagram on a monthly basis. So we put out enough content so our agents can post 3 times a week. So the way to download these is through Canva. Agents can either, I'm just going to do a new share. So, oh, looks like you guys can see that. So agents can see the entire month of December social media posts. 2 things that the agents can do. Many agents just take the post as is. So let's go to December 31st post. Here's a New Year's Eve post that agents. So the reason we put them out early, so 2 weeks before the start of the month, is we encourage agents to schedule out all of your posts. So instead of going on to Facebook once a day or 3 times a week to schedule your social media, take a half hour at the beginning of the month or end of the previous month and schedule out all your social media posts. It takes a half an hour. So what agents do is they can download it as is and then schedule out all of their posts for the month. We also give our agents links to a Canva template so that if they want to customize and put their photo on it or anything like that. Now, often we get asked, so there are 2 types of Canva. One is a free account, one is a $12.95 per month account, or it's $99 if you buy 1 year in advance. When we put out the social media posts, we make sure that you can customize all those and access all of the images using the free Canva account. When we put out listing presentations and pre-listing packages and stuff like that, we typically use Canva Pro. So if you want to customize the higher end marketing materials, you're going to have the Canva Pro, which is basically $13 a month or $100 a year if you pay for it in a whole year in advance. The reason, as a company, the better product is Canva Pro because you get better images. So when it comes to our marketing pieces, like our high-end stuff, we have to use the Canva Pro. That means that you can still use those products, but you won't be able to customize the higher end products unless you have the Canva Pro account. So that is all the social media stuff. And then with that, I will, I'm going to introduce Craig Foley, our Chief Sustainability Officer, so that he can talk more about some of the things we're doing around sustainability at Lair. Oh, we can't hear you. Okay. Okay, I can hear you now. Yep.
I'm going to just share my screen. Say, just going back to the Lair programs and services guide and our Lair.
You sound super low to me. I don't know if anybody else is having problems hearing Craig.
I can't hear Craig at all.
Yeah, he sounds very low.
Yeah, it's super low, Craig.
I think it has to do maybe with his earpiece.
No, can't hear you. Try taking out the earpiece altogether. No.
I've got a way to solve this.
No.
Is that any better?
No.
Just try taking off your headphones, Craig, and talking directly into the computer.
Mm-mm.
For everybody listening, he's saying really good things. When you actually hear what he's saying, it's very important.
Take off
Yeah.
microphone and everything.
There.
So
Okay,
Oh,
that's
we
should
can
be
hear you
better.
now.
There it is. All right, Craig. That's a good
You're
build up.
feeling better now?
Build it up.
Yes.
Yes. All right,
Yeah.
man. You're on. Do it.
All right. Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right, good. Excellent. We're good. So technology making our lives easier once again. I will say, for the Lair programs and services guide that's just been developed, great guide. When you look at the cultural pieces that Lair believes in, one of the bullets in there is continuous improvement. And I can honestly say I've never been with a real estate company that's so committed to continuous improvement. We're always looking for suggestions to do things better. And we take those suggestions seriously, as you can tell from Stacey's presentation. So we're really trying to do things the right way, and I'm so pleased to be with this company. So let's talk about a little bit about the business of sustainability, because if we're not doing things that help you get more listings, more transactions, serve clients better here in the Commonwealth or in any of the states that we serve, the whole sustainability piece isn't going to go anyplace. But we're also trying to rethink employee, customer, staff, and community engagement on this topic as well. And I'm going to give you some numbers in just a little bit that support that. I'm doing a lot of work. I have the opportunity to do a lot of work with the National Association of Realtors, with Fannie Mae, with Freddie Mac on these topics. But look, nobody's perfect with this stuff, right? I live in Melrose, and probably 3 or 4 years ago, we went to the plastic bag ban. And there was a time, there was a transition period where the Shaws in Melrose, where we do our grocery shopping, had the plastic bag still. Now I had the reusable bags in the back of my Prius. I drive a Prius, of course. And I'd get into Shaw's and I'd always forget the damn, reusable bag. So, I go to the counter, I get the plastic bags, and I feel nervous going outside because people know me as the sustainability guy in Melrose, be worried that they see me with the plastic bag. So I rush to the car, put the plastic bags in the back of the car. And then, I drive home and I'd be like, oh, darn, my wife beat me home from work So I knew at that point, if I didn't bring in the reusable bags, I'd be in real trouble. So then I'd be in the back of the Prius, opening it up, switching stuff to the reusable bags from the plastic bags. And I ended up getting this big bulk number of plastic bags in the back of my Prius. So believe me, none of us are perfect at this, right? We're all trying to figure this out as we go, kind of one step at a time. But I'll tell you that on a national level, we are showing incredible leadership, and National Association of Realtors, as I'll talk about a little bit later, is giving us a lot of national credibility because the work that we're doing to try to do a little bit better every day, just like Stacy said about the way we can improve our businesses, take one little notch at a time. That's exactly what we're trying to do here with the sustainability piece as well. Just as information about me, I do run the Rethink 39 team out of the Melrose office. Our whole team is really committed to this. 39% of US energy consumption is attributed to the built environment. It's the biggest chunk, believe it or not. And our team's really committed to slashing carbon one building at a time. I think all of us can do this. And we're finding it's a really rich way to engage our past, present, and future customers. So just some numbers that I was telling you about where this is going in the marketplace. So you're seeing a graph now of S&P 500 companies that have voluntarily published corporate sustainability reports, CSRs. And you can see in 2011, only 20% of the S&P 500 companies were doing that, but this took on pretty quickly. And within a 6-year stretch by 2016, 82% of Fortune 500 companies were voluntarily publishing corporate sustainability reports to all of their stakeholders, whether that be their vendors, their employees, their customers. This was front and center. And this was one of the things that we started with last year. I joined the company on my birthday, January 4th, 2019. And one of the things Stacy and I committed to was to publish a corporate sustainability report for Lair. That's called the Lair Sustainability Report. You can find it in Career Den under Lair Sustainability Tools. And I'm now beginning to write the 2020 corporate sustainability report, which we'll probably publish around the same day, which was Earth Day. April 22nd, 2019. It'll be April 22nd, 2020 as well. Here's another interesting number. This is from a company called the Shelton Group. Shelton Group is a company in Tennessee. Suzanne Shelton is their CEO. They do a lot of work with top-notch companies around the world that are looking at sustainability as a way to engage their stakeholders. Now you have to walk the walk if you're going to talk the talk with this stuff, right? But she's producing very powerful numbers. She produces something called the Echo Pulse survey that gets published at the beginning of every year. A lot of really good marketing survey poll results for American consumers. And one of the things from last year's Echo Pulse survey was 74% of consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. 74% US consumers making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. Now, again, you have to walk the walk in order for that to be an effective marketing tool, which is what we're very engaged on doing. But we feel that this is a real marketing bonus because there are literally very few other real estate companies in the entire United States that are looking at this as a market opportunity. And, we're seeing, trade organizations, not only the National Association of Realtors, which has made huge steps forward over the last 3 or 4 years in terms of this intersection of real estate and sustainability. In fact, we just hired a company called Willis Towers Watson, their Chicago office, to create a full 10-year sustainability plan for the National Association of Realtors, which was accepted by our leadership team and will start to be implemented now. So the trade organizations are making big steps forward. And here you can see the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, right? They changed their website in the fall of 2019. Now, look, the U.S. Chamber is not a group of, ultra left liberal socialists. You know, they're a very conservative trade organization, just like NAR is, but they decided that they needed to put their foot forward in terms of engagement on topics like climate change. And they clearly say on their page, inaction is no longer an option for our members, for businesses in the United States, for consumers, for everybody that lives and works here. So we're seeing a transition in, you know, kind of political will, but also in the business community, we're seeing big movements forward in terms of understanding that we have energy and environmental challenges in front of us, and that we have to face those challenges. There's just no two ways about it. And that's, you know, probably the reason I'm most proud to be working at Lair Realty Partners is that we have a CEO that really gets that, and where our entire staff is really engaged on this topic to try to figure out how we can all move the ball forward. So love to talk to any of you, you know, offline. If you have particular interest in any of these topics, I'm there to certainly talk. Now, look, you know, I talked about political will as well, right? We're seeing communities in Massachusetts, and of course, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has very clear climate goals. We have a goal for the state of Massachusetts to be carbon neutral by 2050. Right now, communities like the town of Brookline, Massachusetts, passed an ordinance by an overwhelming vote to ban all new construction using fossil fuels or extensive remodels using fossil fuels. That was actually shot down by the Attorney General because that ended up looking too much like a building code issue. And in the state of Massachusetts, we have a building code regulator called the Board of Building and Regulations and Standards that administers that code. So that was tossed out. But in response to that, the Attorney General and in front of BBRS right now is a proposal that we have a third energy code in Massachusetts. Now, we have a baseline code. It's IECC 2018 right now. IECC stands for International Energy Conservation Code. So you can tell that energy conservation is critical to the code in the Commonwealth, as well as 40 other states in the country. Also, they're looking at a net zero energy code that could be adopted voluntarily by communities. I know 12 to 15 communities in and around Greater Boston that right now would adopt that net zero energy building code if it were passed through BBRS. What a net zero energy code would require is a home built very efficiently, which the building code is definitely moving towards at this point, but also be able to produce as much energy as it uses on an annual basis. That production of power is typically through solar PV, which stands for photovoltaics. So solar panels on the rooftop that are generating electricity for the home and generating in a way in which the solar PV panels can produce as much energy on an annual basis as it uses. So there is a political will in the Commonwealth to move all of these balls forward as well. And we got to pay attention to that. So what have we been up to? Well, certainly 2019, part of our sustainability initiatives really focused on education, which they still do. When I joined the company in January 2019, there were 4 agents in the company that had their NAR green designation. By the end of 2019, we had 38. So we made a real commitment to realtor education. And the green designation, if there's one thing that can get you to the place where you can be knowledgeable and competent in this part of the industry, which is a requirement under our code of ethics, that's Article 11 of our Code of Ethics, a requirement for knowledge and competence. The Green Designation course, which does a deep dive on building science, on solar PV, on the different types of green certification schemes that are out there and how they work, that's the place to get that education. I'll be teaching the Green Designation for GBAR, for Greater Boston Association of Realtors, at the beginning of September. We will, of course, make sure all of you know about those educational opportunities as they roll out, but we definitely want to see our agents going through the green designation program, or about to rewrite the green designation program again in Q1 at NAR as well. Also on the bottom right, solar panels, let's face it, that's these homes in Massachusetts are transacting every day. We now have, according to the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center, over 100,000 homes in the Commonwealth with solar PV on their rooftops. They are transacting every day. There is a process, in fact, with host-owned solar PV, with the homes that homeowners that actually own the system. Those are considered personal property by Fannie Mae guidance, and they also require that they be valued appropriately. There's a tool for being able to do that. It's not just about the comps with a power plant on someone's rooftop. They produce income, and you can use an income approach. We cover this all in the green designation, but I also wrote a course for the Commonwealth through Mass CEC funding. I'm also a real estate instructor, and it's called Selling the Sun. So that's a course that you can get 2 hours of continuing ed credits, and we offer that course pretty regularly through Lair Real Estate Academy, which we also created in 2019. So you can get continuing education credits as a realtor, whether you're with Lair or not. You can attend the school and also get CE credits for free, which is just fantastic, I think. So we want to make sure there's more sales opportunities for you, there's less risk of liability, and that you're serving your customers, your clients right when you're dealing with homes with high performance features, whether it be solar PV, air source heat pumps, geothermal installations, whatever it may be. We want to make sure you're knowledgeable and competent in that part of this rapidly emerging industry. We're one of the top places to work. I'm sure we will be in 2022. All of the stuff is also about agent and staff engagement. Stacy believes that the work that we're doing in sustainability also is better for recruitment and retention of agents. So that's exciting to see as well. This is part of our sustainability initiatives, just to make sure we're recruiting people and retaining our folks as well. Our partner engagement was another big piece that we focused on in 2019 and continue to focus on in 2020. So Ross Mortgage is one of our preferred lenders, and they've done a really great job. Bob Gallagher is the CEO of that company. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure we did with our partners, particularly our mortgage lender, to make sure that they understood that there is a process for high performance home valuation, and there are appraisers, believe it or not, that have gone through the Appraisal Institute's valuation of sustainable buildings programs. There are 12 of those appraisers in the Commonwealth right now, and Ross has hired a couple of those appraisers. So we can't demand a specific appraiser, but we can demand a qualified appraiser. So if I'm selling a high performance home, that is LEED Platinum certified and has a 8.6 kW solar PV system on it that's host owned by the owner, and we're going to use the PV value tool to evaluate and contribute value using an income approach. I want to make sure that I'm demanding a qualified appraiser. Can't demand a specific appraiser, as you know, because of Dodd-Frank regulations that happened through the last mortgage crisis, but we can demand a qualified appraiser. So we have a process for being able to do that. That process is actually spelled out in the Lair library under the Lair sustainability tools. So take a look there when you get a chance. So we're looking to deepen our relationships with our partners all the time. One of the other partnerships that we entered into with a company called Pearl Certification. They're doing green certifications for existing homes, which has not been done before. They're doing great work on that, and I'm sure we'll be doing more educational events focused on Pearl certification as we get into 2020 here as well. But reach out to me if you want to know more information about that. We're also finding that the media is really loving our story on this topic. So Stacy and I went out to San Francisco for the NAR annual conference in November last year in 2019. This was when we could all meet as human beings in the same room as people. And we did a presentation with NAR's Director of Sustainability, this incredible staff person named Amanda Stinton. And we talked about what Lair was doing and that we're building a sustainability report. And we had really great attendance. We had some of our Lair realtors in the room as well. And we didn't know that this woman, Erica Christopher, was in the room, and she's a writer for Realtor Magazine, and she wrote a lovely story about our work in 2019 that was published in Realtor Magazine. And in 2020, we had a chance to also do an update on our work as sustainability is part of a brokerage value proposition. This year, virtually, the conference would have been in New Orleans, which, Stacey, it would have been a lot of fun to see you in New Orleans and hang out there. But we did this virtually, of course. And again, that was released. It was the only educational session that NAR released as a press release in their pressers out there. So just incredible to see the national reputation that Lair is developing because of this work with sustainability as a brokerage's value proposition. Great work. Sergio is doing just fantastic work to also give us marketing tools that are out there as well. And one of the things that's upcoming here, hopefully this month, is I'd like to form a Lair Sustainability Committee at Lair, which would be, once a month, short 1 hour Zoom platform where we have a guest speaker in and then talk about the things that we can do better, different ways that we can engage. And I'm sure I'm going to reach out to all of our green designated agents first, but anybody that wants to participate in this, it'd be voluntary, of course. Transactional stuff comes up. You can make some meetings, you can't make others, but we certainly want to develop a sustainability committee at Lair that we can meet with on a monthly basis and continue to look at how we do things better. And again, Stacey mentioned this already. I'm not going to go back into it, but definitely check out the Lair sustainability tools in Career Den, in those resources. Some really important stuff in there. A script for solar, right? Just the things, if you're going into a home and it's got solar PV on it, you're going to be asked questions about the value of that home. And we've got a script in there so you can deal with those questions, the right initial questions that you need to answer. Now, of course, when it goes deeper than that, when the homeowner owns the system and they're asking about specific valuation tools, then reach out to Happy Agent. You'll be connected to me, and we can go through that process of doing that. And that process, again, is spelled out in that continuing ed course called Selling the Sun. So we'll be doing we'll be doing something fairly early in 2020 so that you can get your continuing ed credits through Lair Real Estate Academy on that as well. So if there are any questions, I'd love to talk to them, but that's love to take them. But that's the long and short of what we're doing with sustainability.
So a couple things I just want to say for everybody watching today is that over time, so we keep providing all kinds of training classes and information on how to incorporate sustainability into your real estate business. And right now it's an awesome opportunity because you can build a niche around it and become known in your marketplace as the person that understands sustainability. So what we know is that if you have two houses side by side and one has certain sustainable features such as it owns solar PV, that property is worth more than the one next to it, with all other things being equal. And many real estate agents don't even realize that. So that's why it's so important to take those classes, because right now it's an opportunity to build a business around a niche. But if you keep ignoring sustainability, you're eventually going to become a liability in the business, because if you go on a listing presentation, you have no idea. By the way, on Lair University, we have a section on sustainability. I'll show you guys in a few minutes. One of them was with a green appraiser, and she had an awesome story during that training program about two different agents. One, and it was a big listing, I forget what state it was in, but one agent was well skilled and understood how to evaluate a sustainable home, and the other agent had no idea. And like the numbers, the value of the property that the sustainable agent gave was way more than the non-sustainable agent. And by the way, the agent that didn't understand sustainability, even if they had gotten the listing, they wouldn't have known how to market it properly. So eventually, if you keep ignoring sustainability in your business, you will become a liability. So you don't want to end up finding yourself on the wrong end of a lawsuit because you didn't understand how sustainability can impact your business. And the upside is it can be an awesome niche to in today's market. And like I said to Craig, in my opinion, even if you're not personally into like sustainability, when you look at towns that are getting rid of plastic bags and towns that are getting rid of plastic straws, that's all evidence that this is all here, like it's not leaving. So that is evidence of a trend that is going to impact our business in the future. So get ahead of the game and learn it. Anything else, Craig?
No, I think you captured that pretty perfectly. That appraiser that's on our library is Sandy Adamatis. She's the leading green appraiser in the country. She wrote a book called Residential Green Valuation Tools that is the Bible of valuation of high performance homes out there in the appraisal industry. It's a fantastic book. Thank you, Stacy. Thanks everybody for listening.
Awesome. And with that, I want to introduce for a few minutes Chris Baird, our COO. Chris, if you could just talk for a few minutes. It's not in our booklet. As I mentioned before, we're going to keep adding to our program and services guide. But a couple of the things that you've spearheaded over the last 6 months is the Lair Mastermind program. Some cool committees that agents can get involved in. If you could talk a little bit about those things in your work at Lair.
Absolutely. Well, thanks everybody for being on this, and welcome to Lair. And as you've seen, we have so many resources. So it's sort of my job to sort of understand the resources, streamline them and make it sort of, as Stacy said, make it as easy for the agent to transact. And it's also important to know where these resources are. So I'm actually out of the Melrose office. I was an agent with Keller Williams in Los Angeles for years, and then I moved back to the East Coast. I opened up the Keller Williams office in Reading, was a team leader there. So sort of leadership and agent development is my forte. So the COO role, yes, but it changes every day. I think all of our roles do. Everybody on leadership, we sort of do whatever we have to do to make sure that the agents are taken care of. So whatever the title of the role is, we're doing everything to make sure things are running properly, and that changes daily, as you all know. So the bottom line is, like I said, I'm here to develop our agents, define our systems that'll help sort of sustain the growth of Lair, which is sort of the goal for you guys to develop and for us to be part of that development with you. So the first thing, I think I'll share the screen. We have the mentor program. I'm going to start with that. That's new. And part of that mentor program is to get people involved, get people accountable, and get you in business quickly. So if you can see this, and I can share this link with you. Basically, it's the Lair Mentor Program. And this is a questionnaire that we came up with that probably takes you about 15 minutes to fill out. And it is finding out, what your prescription is to what you need specifically. It's not just one mentor fits everybody. This goes through and really digs down as to who you are, where your business is, where you want it to go. It's a great opportunity for you to sort of find out what you need to do to be successful, because half of us don't even know. I mean, you should figure out what your big why is, because we're very much about mindset. So when you have what your big why is, what drives you every day, that is part of getting your roadmap to being successful. That will drive you every day. So we can share this link with you. We can put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat. and take this, just take it. Even if you're not, even if you don't want to do the mentor program, just take it anyways. You can learn a little bit about yourself. And you know, we want to help that voyage continue and be part of your growth. The other thing that Stacy mentioned is we do masterminds, and that is something that we do once or twice a month. We actually have one coming up on the 17th, I believe, with one of our top, well, our very top team, Dan O'Connell, who does, I think, about what, 80 million in business, 80 million in business a year, which is pretty awesome. And he's going to be teaching agents how to, you know, about his team, how it works, and the basic foundation on how to keep that going. So that's every month we're doing masterminds, not only with top agents. Stacy has the $10 million agent every Tuesday, correct?
Yes.
Which is amazing as well. So our agents are sharing what's working for them to agents in the company. Not only that, I have the new agent mastermind. So every 3 months for agents, and you all will be on that. I do a quick check-in, and this is new as well. So I have everybody who was on board in the past couple months. Basically, it's a mastermind. We sit around, talk about what worked for you, what didn't. If you're getting the right support, if there's anything lacking, or if you have questions about the resources, that's what that's for. It's just sort of a huddle to make sure that you're okay and you feel as though you weren't on board and then we just disappeared, which is impossible with a happy agent, as you've learned. So we also are very focused with masterminds on mindset. We try to throw in one of those every month or a couple times a month. And that is really, mindset is key and crucial to basically sustaining your success in the business. And I mean, whether it's one of the books that we recommend or listening to somebody who is, you know, helping us define what your mindset can be, it's always an advantage. Also, let me see, the resources just don't run out here, which is amazing. We have monthly meetings that I host the second Wednesday at 11 o'clock, and it's an hour. We go over the new Lair resources. We're constantly adding different resources. The cool thing about this company, and it's not drinking the Kool-Aid, it's not at all, is that there's not a lot of bureaucracy. So if we want something, if there's some cool tech thing or any resource, we'll probably get it and we'll try it out. And if it doesn't work, at least we tried it. So we go over those resources in the team meetings. We go on what's happening in the markets, upcoming classes. We go over tips and strategies for success in the market today. We go over what the market's doing. And it's basically a huddle for all our agents to sort of be on the same page, feel connected to something bigger, especially because it's, you know, we can't be in the room right now having these meetings, which, you know, culture is a big part of every office, and we want to push culture, and we're doing everything we can to stay connected to you all. And that's important. Going back to, as Stacy said, we have some really cool committees. Absolutely. Craig talked about the sustainability committee that he's going to be doing. I'm going to hold him to it, right, Craig? You're going to try to do it once a month. Excellent. Yes, that's thumbs up. See, you don't even need the volume. If you just did that, we have committees. So we have the Lair leadership committee, which helps us run the office, and it's you're all the feet on the ground. Like, we can lose touch with what's going on specifically in the market, being on our side. So we do have committees that are run by our top agents. We meet with the Lair leadership committee once a month. That's the third Wednesday. And we talk about what's going on in the market with Lair. We listen and we adapt to what's going on. With the Lair leadership committees, we have committees within, and you can be part of this. So if you want your voice heard, if you want to help grow, if you want to contribute, we want you to be part of it. We want you to help run this company. And some of the committees are, there's a growth committee, and the growth committee reviews, you know, the training, talks about our agent development, talks about the growth of this company and how we do it to attract the right talent like you all, and how to grow it with the right people. Not everybody with their license is going to come. We want at Lair. It's people that understand it and get what we're trying to do, what our mission is, and that's changing lives the correct way. That's also, additionally, there's the growth committee. There's the tech committee. We stay on top of current technology. We promote and use Lair resources, which is so important with Isaac and Real Scout. We have so many resources. We need people to promote it to the company. If you're a tech person, come in, and we meet once a month. It's 30 minutes. All these committees. We're starting the new committees in January. We're taking people now to see if they're interested in it. We have a culture committee, which is, you know, it's helping with events, it's helping to plan things, it's keeping us connected, it's creating an environment within our company, like sort of a culture that nobody wants to leave. And that's sort of the heart of what runs things. For especially for me, I have a big connection to agents, development, growth, and being on the pulse of what's working for them and their business. And so the culture is, I think cultures are the heart of it. And also the last committee we have is the safety committee, which is a brand new committee that one of our agents stepped up and volunteered to head, which is incredible. Which is obviously it keeps agents safe while conducting business. You know, there's a lot of things going out there in the market. Things are a little bit weird with the election and with COVID. So we want our agents to be safe and to be trained for safety, for open houses and showings and everything else. So these are all committees you can be a part of, help us grow, and you know, we welcome you and hope you can get more involved. And I'm not going to talk anymore because I'm sick of my own voice. But we welcome you all, and we're so happy that you're here.
Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
All right, let me go back to, I got to find our programs and services guide.
And if you have any questions, email me, C Baird. We can put it in the chat. I'll put it in here. And also take the mentor survey. It's pretty cool. And if you guys have any questions with anything, let me know. And if I can't answer it, I'll pass it on to the right person. Or just email Happy Agent. That's huge. Happy Agent.
By the way, I always say for agents that are interested in getting involved in a committee, the best thing to do is just have a conversation with Chris, and he'll ask you questions around like what you're interested in, so that we can just make sure that you end up on the right committee for you, because we have so many different opportunities available that he'll help you find the best home, even if you don't know where the best home for you is just yet. Okay, I do want to just, before I go into the next section, I want to remind everybody, which I think everybody knows, but let me just get on over to, if you are not currently a member of our ROAR group on Facebook, make sure to sign up for that, because we're doing some cool stuff. This year, we decided in order to support local small businesses, we're doing our first holiday bazaar this weekend. So if you go over to our Facebook ROAR group, you'll see that we're doing a small business holiday bazaar. So all day Saturday and all day Sunday, every half hour, we have a new vendor, and they're just they sell all different types of things. We have about 20 or so vendors already signed up for the 2 days, and we're adding people every hour. So head on over to our ROAR group, just so you can check that out. It's supposed to be, if you're in Mass at least, it's supposed to be a snowy weekend, snowy, wet, cold. So wouldn't it be cool if you can get all of your holiday shopping done, supporting a local vendor, right from just sitting in your pajamas. So make sure to watch on our Facebook group for that. And also, if you head over to that Facebook group, you'll also see if you have a friend that's a vendor that might want to showcase what they're selling, they can sign up. We have a little Calendly link. So they just click on it and sign up for their 30 minutes that they'll present this weekend. Okay, so I'm going to go back to sharing. All right, so that was like an overview of our career den. All I want you guys to know about showing time. So one of the free tools we offer to our agents, or it's not a free tool, we pay for it on your behalf, is showing time. Showing time is a pretty awesome tool, not only for setting up showings so that you have basically a call center where other agents can set up showings on your listings, basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But there's some other cool pieces to this tool that we found agents really don't use. So we wanted to make sure that agents know the different pieces that are available to this system. So when you're looking at our program and services guide, you'll see right at the bottom, anything that's underlined is a link. So if you click on Lair University here, it's going to take you over to a class at Lair University where we did a class with Showing Time, and they show you how to really use that tool in your business. This is the time of year when you guys should be gearing up saying, how can I use all the tools I have better instead of going out and shopping for new tools? So instead of going out and shopping for new tools, just look at the ones you already have and say, am I really leveraging this to get more business? So specifically on this tool, the two things that we found agents were not really using is number one, the back-end reporting. So there's a whole back-end reporting mechanism to your showing time so that when you're on a listing appointment, you can basically show your seller how many buyers are setting up appointments in the marketplace in that town. So basically you just do a search of town and you can pull graphs. So you can say, hey, there were 300 people that set up showings in this town last month. This month we're at 30 people, so that you can show history of what's happening in the market. I think the reports are phenomenal. I also want you guys to think about the market is not going to stay hot forever. And eventually we're going to be at a point where we are asking for price reductions again. This is one of those tools. Showing Time is the tool that you can use to help get price reductions. Number one is using that back-end reporting feature. But the second way is customizing the feedback surveys. Many of you use the feedback surveys, but you're not customizing them. So you're using the one that it gives you like standard questions. You can go back and ask very specific questions around any particular listing. So let's tie it back to Craig for a second. Let's just say you're marketing a sustainable home and you have another buyer agent that is going out and showing a property on showing your listing. You could send out your survey request where it asks the agent just some elementary questions around what they know about sustainability. Like, do you have a basic understanding of how owned solar is different from leased solar? So things like that, because that information might be helpful for you to know, like, do I have to call this agent and help them sell the property to the client? But head over to Lair University when you have a free 30 to 40 minutes to learn how to really leverage this awesome tool. Now, the next piece that we're going to very briefly cover this is we have a program at Lair. So some of you are at Lair, some of you are not at Lair. All three of these tools that we're going to talk about next are available to other real estate agents out in the marketplace. We've packaged them together to get a substantial, massive discount for agents. So we feel that the three tools that really help our agents like blow up their business are Exact. It's a CRM / set it and forget it marketing system, Boston Logic website system, and Real Scout property search system. It's three different products. At Lair, if an agent wants all three products, it is a monthly cost of $39 a month. By the way, it's the only monthly cost you'll ever have at Lair. For the $39 a month, you get all three products: Exact, Boston Logic, and Real Scout. By the way, we don't force you to buy it. At some real estate companies, you have a forced tech fee that you pay whether or not you're going to use any of the products. Nothing at our company is forced. You decide if you want it. We think you're crazy if you don't have it because the product is so amazing. Now, if you're not at Lair and you want any of these systems, you can go buy the Exact contact management system. individually for $39 a month. Boston Logic you can get for like $50 or $60 a month. And Real Scout, an agent can go buy it on their own for $39 a month. So under our at Lair, you get all three, and it's $39 a month total for all three. You don't have to go pay for each one individually. We've brought them together as a package. So what I want you to know as you're going through the program and services guide, I'm going to bring Len, our Director of Business Services, on to talk to you guys about a couple of these in particular. But what I want you to know is, because we have so many agents using Exact and Real Scout and Boston Logic, we've organized where to get more information. So if you're using Exact and you want to learn how to better use it, everything here on the program and services guide is a link. So the first link is a video on an introductory tour of Exact. The second link is a 4-minute video on how to use the mobile app. The next link is setting up contact groups. So this is not every piece of the system, it's the most important pieces of the system. Except for the introductory tour, which is a little bit longer, all of these are 3 to 5 minute videos. So it just shows you how to use the tool. Don't buy a tool for $39 a month if you're not going to do anything with the tool. The point of buying the tool is to leverage it for your business so you can go get more business. So here we give you a link to the most important little training videos to show you how to use the system. I'll also tell you the Exact team is pretty good with customer service. So we also put here their phone number and their contact information, because they've been very helpful at for agents that don't want to upload their CRM system on their own and they want somebody to do it with them. Exact will do it for them. Last but not least, you can call the Happy Agent team, and the Happy Agent team will support you. If you go through Boston Logic, we've organized the training here. So we tell you what the benefits are, the coolest pieces. Then we organize the most relevant training classes. These are short little videos on how to use your Boston Logic website. And at the top, you'll see that we have put some samples of really beautiful Lair websites, and they all look pretty different. So when it comes to your Boston Logic site, we've organized all the videos on how to help you, and also our marketing team can help you. So if you want help customizing your website through Boston Logic, just email the Happy Agent team. They'll take care of it. And the last piece is Real Scout. So Real Scout is a property search program. What we found is that many agents at our company, when they were working with a buyer, many of those agents were using MLS. So they would put the buyer into an MLS search so that each morning they'd get a list of all the new listings that hit the market. It's okay to do it that way. But then we noticed many of our clients were going to Redfin for that search experience. They'd still work with our agent because it was a better agent, but they'd use the Redfin website because they like the website for search better. Or they'd go to Zillow because they like the search better on Zillow. So we said, you know what, we need a better search product because we don't want our clients going to another website for a better experience. So this provides a phenomenal experience where your client can get either daily, so a daily list of new properties that come on the market, or immediate notification when a property hits the market within the price range and town that they're looking in. It's a phenomenal experience, not only for the customer, but it's also an awesome experience for the agent because on the back end, you can track what your clients are looking for, get notice of what your clients love the most on the property. So with that, I'm going to invite our Director of Agent Services, Len Lockery, to come on and talk for a bit about Exact and Real Scout specifically.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. real quick here. And we're going to take a look at Isaac real quick, just kind of a quick overview. So basically is to log in, you would go to isaaccontact.com, sign in with your Lair email. When you open it up, this is going to be your dashboard, your home page. Now, if you are brand new to Isaac and just logged in for the very first time, they have a setup wizard that will open up automatically, and you can either skip it or you can go through and the setup wizard is very easy to use. It gives you all the basics. It lets you set up your email header, set up everything else. Let's see here, let's boom. All right, so a couple of cool things about this is this is for your database. This is for everybody you know. You want to put everybody you know into this CRM, whether they're going to buy a house from you or not, because you can put in, if you have a favorite plumber or a favorite electrician, you can put them in too. But once you have put everybody in, all your contacts are going to be over here. You can search for them. You can search for names, cities, keywords, whatever. Now, when you first start with Isaac, I'm going to click here over where it says user profile. And sorry, I lied. I'm going to click over here where are the utilities? There we go. I'm going to click on utilities. Sorry about that. You have two ways when you're first starting out. There's two ways to import your contacts. One way is that you can import everybody on a CSV file, and it's fairly easy to do. It just takes time, and you want to make sure that you have saved everybody as a CSV. Most often when you export from a different system, it'll save it as a CSV. If it did not export as a CSV, but actually exported as an Excel, it's very easy to change it over. Just that when you save something, you would just come up here and you would say save as, save a copy, and you're going to have a choice either as an Excel, or you come down here and you would choose CSV. A CSV is just like a spreadsheet, only without all the formatting. And that's why you would do a CSV file. But once you import it on a CSV file, then you're going to have to map out the different headers. So like on this test one I have phone here, but in Isaac, it's going to ask for home phone. So what you would do is it comes up and you would just click and say, phone is the same as home phone. Email is the same as email. First name is first name and stuff like that. That's if you have maybe just if you feel comfortable doing it yourself, you can do it that way. But the cool thing about Isaac is they are more than happy to do it for you. All you have to do is save everything in a CSV file. You don't have to worry about what the headers are, right? Just contact them, send it to them, and within 48 hours, they've imported all your people. So that's the first step, is to get your people into Isaac, into your CRM, so you can keep track of them. And as we all know, we know a lot of people, and quite often it takes 3, 4, 5 years before they decide to buy something. Before, they may be happy where they are now, but they may change their minds in 4 or 5 years. So it's always important to stay in touch with people. So a couple of other cool things about this is, Stacy mentioned earlier, it has a newsletter campaign, an e-newsletter campaign that is automatic. So what we're going to do here, let me just show you, is keep in touch. And so keeping in touch, I have already set it up for the monthly e-newsletter, and it's recurring. It comes out once a month. And I decided that I wanted it to come out on the first Tuesday of every month at 8 a.m. So you can pick and choose when it's going to go out. And then let's just go down here. The cool thing about this is that when you put everybody in, you can set this up so that when you automatically assign the following contacts to your newsletter. Anybody who is manually entered, any lead captures, any sync contacts, any imported contacts. So if you check all these boxes right now, anybody you add in to your newsletter, they will automatically, anybody you add into your CRM, they will automatically get your newsletter. You just don't even have to think about it. If the person's in there, they have an email, they're getting your newsletter. So that part is really cool. Next is the other neat thing is birthdays. So a couple of cool things. You do have to, let's just go ahead and open up Alona as a sample. A couple of quick things is you can also automatically have them receive a birthday greeting from you. Also, you can set it up so that they'll automatically get an anniversary, a home move-in anniversary. So the first thing you'll need to do though is you need to edit the contact, and you come down here. There's a lot of information you can put in about a contact to help you remember who they are and everything else. So I'm going to come down here to personal details. And I know that her birthday was in May. It was on the 24th. And you can also, if you knew her husband's birthday, you could put that in, wedding anniversary, whatever you wanted to put in, extra information to remind you. But the important thing is like, if you put in birthday, they'll be set up to automatically get birthday greetings from you once you activate it. So what I'm going to do is come up here. I'm going to save. And then I'm going to come here to keep in touch. And click here and activate it. And so on May 24th, Alona is going to get a happy birthday greeting from me. You can do that to all of your contacts. You can also set it up so that everybody you put in also gets that too. So one last thing about Isaac is, let me see if I can just do this real quick. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if we can switch over. I'm going to share my phone screen real quick. Start the broadcast. And let's see what we get going here. All right, there we are. Here is the Isaac app. I've been playing around with it. It's awesome. You can do anything with it. The other thing you can do though is say if you say you want to call somebody, you just click on the phone, pops up the email, the phone number. Oh, I have to sign in again, dang it. But hang on. All right. Let me sign out and I'll sign back in. The whole point of this is that with this program on your phone, there we go. You can, they have a task list and everything else. Let's click on done. Let's go ahead and open up Len Lockery. And there's the phone number. I can click in here and say I want to call Len Lockery. You call and everything, and then once you're done, this note section pops up right here. All you have to do is say, oh, I want to enter a note, and just to memorize, so that I can remember what we talked about, and just say, you know, called Len for whatever, right? And it becomes part of your start broadcasting. Let's just go back here. Sorry, I'm bouncing around so much, but the cool thing is now we're back into this this one here, we're going to go to Len Lockery, and we're going to go to activities in here. And let's just refresh this. And it's going to show up that, well, it will show up. Oh, I have to hit save over here. Sorry, guys. There we are. Anyway, so you can keep track of who you talked to, when you talked to them, what your conversations was. So here it is. Here's where I just called myself and called him for whatever. So that's kind of like a real, just an overview of Isaac, of some of the cool things that you can do with it. There is so much more here. And yes, there are a ton of videos. We have all those videos on Lair University. Also in the launch guide. And then there's even additional videos that are with Isaac. So does that all make sense? All right, great. Should I go on to Real Scout next?
Yeah, do Real Scout.
All right. Let's take a look at Real Scout. I love this program. This is really great. To get to Real Scout, you want to go to realscout.com. And when, for you, the agent, you want to go to your client login. And let's switch over here. I'm going to sign in as an agent. Let's log in here. When you first sign in, this is going to take you to your dashboard. And so this is a much better system of sending out daily emails than sending out through MLS. One of the things that's really great about this is you can see what people are looking at. You can see what they open. Lauren Lockery, she just opened this email 15 minutes ago. Len Lockery, I opened this email for the 4th time. And you keep on going down and you can see all the activity. We see that Lauren Lockery, she viewed 45 Elmont Road. I can click here and see what it was that she was looking at, right? And if I saw that she looked at it multiple times, I would know to pick up the phone, call her and say, hey, how about this one? So on here, you can see, let's just see here. Let's just scroll down far enough to see where it is. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. You can see if a buyer clicks on something and says, oh, they're interested in a property, and it pops up like this, you know? So it says that Len Lockery shared 4 days ago, was interested in this property. And you can click here and you can see what it was your buyer was looking for. And you know to pick up the phone and say, hey, just saw that one on Central Street. Looks pretty good. What do you think? So this was your dashboard. One of the things is you're able to put your clients in here so that they get emails, updates. So it's really for your buyers and for your sellers, but it enables you to be very interactive with them. So when you're on your clients page, you can look and see who your clients are. We're going to take a look at Len Buyer real quick here. And you can see that Len Buyer has several searches set up. So what we're going to do though is we're going to pretend like we're going to do a new search for Len Buyer, right? It's very, very easy to do. So you can either add a brand new client or you can add an alert. So what you would do is choose who this alert is going to be for. This is going to be for Len Buyer. It's going to be a listing alert. And I have choices. Now I'm licensed in Mass and New Hampshire, so I can have them search in either Massachusetts or New Hampshire. If you're licensed in just one state or the other, then you'll only have the choices of one or the other. So we're just going to do a quick search for single family. And I'm just going to create a quick search for him. And it's going to come up with all your criteria of what you're going to do. So we've already started. We're doing single families MLS PIN. We're going to say everything that is active. I don't necessarily need to, I can decide whether I want to share what's under contract, what's not. In this case, I think I will. There are some things in here that are actually limiting factors. So if you said a minimum number of bedrooms was 3, well, then they're not going to get any 2 bedrooms. If you say the maximum was 4 bedrooms, then they're not going to get any 5-bedroom homes. So you always want to be careful not to put in too many limiting factors. One other thing here is, because we are looking at under agreement and contingent, if we are also sharing solds, then it would be important to use this drop down, because you didn't want them to have, you don't want them to be emailed things that sold, 3 years ago. But for the most part, I almost always leave this option open. Next is locations. This part is very important. So you want to start with the state, and we're going to say this is going to be Massachusetts. Next, we're going to say we want the town. You could try scrolling down like this, but an easier way is just to start typing in the town. And there's Chelmsford. Let's do on Chelmsford and look at the map over on the left-hand side. It's already narrowed it down. Now, the next part is interesting. You have a couple of choices here. If you were extremely interested in only looking at neighborhoods or only looking at specific zip codes, you could narrow the search down here. You can also narrow it down to just a neighborhood, right? Or just an elementary school. So like in Chelmsford, I believe they have the, if I can just spell, South Row Elementary School. Is that still open? Does anybody know? Hope so. There it is. South Row Elementary School, Chelmsford. So it's on the drop down. So I'm going to click on that, right? And now it automatically knows that it's only going to show me homes in that school district. That is such a cool tool. It really is. Now, one of the things that's confusing is this says school and location boundaries, and down here it says schools. Here's what you need to know about is this down here on schools. This is strictly according to what the listing agent put into MLS. And so, as you all know, is that a lot of agents don't always put in the schools, or maybe they get the school wrong, or they misspell the school. So if you put in anything here, it's only going to show you what the agent put in. So generally, I would advise just ignoring this part. And if you're looking for a specific school district, use this right here. As you go down, you can add more features. If somebody is like, yeah, I absolutely have to have a garage, you can put that in. So there are more, and think of these as limiting factors, really, because you want them to see everything, right? But if you were to check and click on only homes with open houses, they would only see homes with open houses. So, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this to the client, right? And over here, it's going to tell me who the client is. It's going to be Len Buyer. I'm going to give this a new search name only because you can set up multiple searches for people, and you want to keep the searches separate. So I'm just going to say South Row Elementary. If I can only spell, I don't even know if I spelled that right. The next thing you have a choice. Now, you can say, oh, I'm just going to send out one email a day. And I know that they're not in front of their computers on Saturday and Sunday. So it's just going to be Monday through Friday in the morning or afternoon. You can pick and choose when these emails are going to go out. But just know that if you're just doing it daily, that's just going to be like one email that goes out, and your buyer, if they're busy, they may miss that email. They may not have a chance to read it, and they may miss that day's email. So I highly recommend you check on ASAP. And ASAP means that when a property comes on the market, they're going to be notified. Your buyer's going to be notified throughout the day. So if they do happen to miss one, they won't miss them all. So, and then you also have other choices. You can have copies sent to yourself. If you have a lot of buyers, don't do that because you'll be inundated yourself. You'll be notified when they do open emails, and when they do look at emails, you'll be able to go to the dashboard and everything. So now that we're done, I'm just going to click save up here, and it's going to save everything, and it's going to tell me here that there are 17 listings that this buyer has not seen yet, right? So I can put in, I can say new homes you may not have seen. And then you can give a message. Please hurry up and buy a house, right? And you can send this off to your buyer, and they will get an email of all those listings that they just saw. So it's really pretty cool. All right, so going through, that was just a quick overview on how to add somebody in, just a quick overview on the dashboard, because you are able to see everything that everybody, any of your clients look at. And just since we've been talking, Lauren Lockery has been looking at 91 Elliott Drive. I think she wants to move. So one last thing is before we switch over to the buyer view, I want to show you that if you come down here to extras, you do have a landing page that you can set up. You can customize it. It has a very easy HTML code, URL, I mean. It's got that you can put, say, like into your signature. You can add pages to your website. This is pretty cool. And this is just another way to get people into your system and start searching. So, and this is the landing page that Real Scout provides. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my Yahoo account because LenBuyer01 is a real email. Let me just sign in again. And so here it is. I've just got this email from myself. It says new homes you may not have seen. And here's what your buyer would see. Your buyer would see this email, and they'd be able to scroll down, take a look. 36 Bartlett, that looks nice, doesn't it? So they can click on this. They can open up. This is what they would see as a buyer. So they're going to take a look and they say, oh, I like this Bartlett Street. Let's take a look at it. They can scroll through the photos, everything else, and they can say, you know what? I'm interested in this property. I would give this maybe a 4 stars. Let's give it a 4 stars. Yeah. Boy, I guess not, huh? Anyways, your buyers can then rate a property. You, the agent, on your agent dashboard will see that they rated this, that they're interested in it. And then if they really actually want to see a showing, they can say, hey, I want to see this property, right? And they can direct message you. You will be sent a message, and you'll also be notified on your phone too. So some of the things they like about this is they like the school system because that's why they're looking in there. They love the location. They love the yard maybe, and they love the style. All of this information that a buyer can put in is going to be more information for you to help them find their home quicker. The other thing is they can put in commutes. They can calculate how long it's going to be to get from this home to wherever they work. They have the ability to put all that information in. Your buyers also have the ability to create their own searches. When you have a new buyer, I recommend that you set up at least their first search, because if you just give them the link and wait for them to set it up, they may not set it up right. They may not get around to it. They may find another website by mistake. So what you want to do is you want to set up their first search. So this is the view from what a buyer sees and how their search goes. So let's click here and return to agent dashboard real quick. And here it is already. Len buyer is interested in 36 Bartlett Street, right? But we can also go here to clients, and Len buyer put in some information of what he was interested. So we can go here and click on clients, click on here, and we can see what Len buyer's searches are. We can see his profile, and you can already see that he likes colonials, luxury bathtubs, stainless steel appliances, all the good stuff. And then you can take a look at the recent activity. And you can look at their client details, and you can say, you know, you can add more information. You can add an additional person. So you could put Len buyer's spouse in here so that he or she gets their emails too. Or you can reset their password. Now, the cool thing is they don't necessarily need a password unless they want to set one up for themselves. They can just click on the emails and go right in. So, or if you're tired of Len buyer and he's not buying anything for years, you can delete that client. So, so the next thing I would like to do is I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to go back to share my phone again. Here we go, and start the broadcast, screen broadcast, 2, 3, 1, boom, there we are. So I'm going to show you a couple quick things hang on, let's go to the App Store. So these two, well, I guess I was gone for too long. I'm going to go Real Scout, look it up right here. So your buyers can go on and they can download the app. When they do, they just have to put in, it seems to be pretty obvious that it sends up with you and you're automatically in there. I'll have to double check it. I'm pretty sure that once they download the app and then they go in with their email, it asks for their email and it's automatically matched with you. So there are two apps here. There's one for the buyers, and it's the Real Scout Home Search. There's another one, and let's see, more by Real Scout. Come on, Agent Dashboard. This is a cool one that you can have on your own phone, and you can actually see what your buyers are looking at. You can do quite a bit just on your phone. And then also is one of the things I showed earlier was that your buyers can message you, and you can go onto your agent app and you can follow the conversation along. You can reply to them, say, yes, I'm going to set up that appointment, whatever you want to do. So just want to make sure you guys all knew about that. So I think that's a pretty good overview. It's not everything. There is so much to Real Scout. I love Real Scout. It's really cool. But that's just kind of like a quick overview. I hope that was useful.
I just want to remind everybody, I believe the Lair agent tool trainings is every other Monday, and you basically reshare, and it's all on. So every other Monday at 10 in the Lair Facebook page, we do training on Real Scout, Exact, Boston Logic, Dot Loop. So all the tools we regularly use. So if you're not at an appointment on Monday, every other Monday at 10, it's worth just tuning in to see like what little piece you're not quite using to its fullest advantage. I'm gonna have Len come back in a few minutes just to show you how to set up the new Lair branded materials that we have inside Cloud CMA. But first I want to reshare my screen for a second. We only have about 15 more minutes before our program is over. The next piece I wanted to have Sergio just talk to you guys about for a second is our Lair marketing team. So as part of our Lair marketing team, you've already gotten to get a taste of it. So our Lair marketing team creates the ROAR report monthly. The Lair marketing team creates the social media posts for you to make throughout the month. They also do training programs for our agents. But another big piece of the product that they offer on a monthly basis is automated listing marketing. So when you list a property at Lair, usually within about 48 hours of your listing hitting the market, it's our marketing team that sends you an email with all of your marketing for that property. So a 2-page marketing brochure, 4 social media posts, new listing, under agreement, sold, and open house. They give you a Lair brochure, open house sign-in sheet. And with that, I'll let you talk for a few minutes about Lair marketing, Sergio.
Hello, hi. So let me share my screen here. Right, so included in that Lair marketing bundle is everything that Stacy spoke about, but we do have other things that are available that you can request if you email Happy Agent. We have this nice 4-page listing brochure that we can include more of. If you have like a nicer listing with nice high quality professional photos, we can include more of those photos and you can request them. It also includes town information. We also have resources here in our blog. We have new for 2021, we have some new business card designs. So we have a little preview here on Lair Marketing Center. And we will let you know how we can get these for next year, but they're great new designs. Sorry. That you guys will love, and that can use your full length portraits better. We also have the December social media posts here. And we're also, so Dom is also part of the marketing team. She's doing some surveys on our Facebook group that will help us create new posts that are a little more valuable than just like the Happy Donut Day, that you agents can use better for your clients, that provide more value. So if you do get a chance to be on our Facebook group, just fill out that survey so we can kind of shape our program through there. So I think that's it.
All right.
Wait, no more Donut Day?
Oh yeah, you will still have Donut Day.
Okay,
but in addition to that, we do want to provide, again, more stats, more things that actually are of value to your clients. Those are great little touching points, great little like festivities, but you do want to be seen as a professional and someone that knows your local market. So we look forward to 2021 and creating that. And all of this is, again, like Stacy said, it's all centered around Canva. So we will have some new Canva training programs. Dom this month does have a training program on Facebook pages, and we're very excited to share that stuff with you.
And I like to always point out, so you automatically get your listing brochures, your social media pieces emailed to you once you list a new property. Our marketing team is awesome. Like if you want something changed on it, you can either do it yourself using Canva, but also our team is happy to make changes. Like if you wanted a different photo featured or anything like that, you're welcome to send back and let them know that what changes you want, and they'll take care of it for you.
Yeah, just reply back to Happy Agent, and we'd be glad to make, because it's in Canva, we can make any change you'd like, any change to the logo, any extra picture that you want. We can definitely make that happen for you.
And that's not to butt in, but it's a really cool thing having a marketing department actually provide you with sort of templates with actual details. You should know the market that you're working in. So having these stats is crucial. If you're new in the business, especially, it's important that you know what you're talking about. So it's an awesome resource.
Okay, next up, I want to talk a little bit about Lair University. I'm going to take you over there for a quick moment. We're constantly reorganizing this. If you go to lairuniversity.com, you will see that we have probably about 300 training classes on Lair U. So hold on, I'm going to reshare that. So we have about 300 training classes. Now, if you go back to our Lair program and services manual, what we did there is we organized a list of our most watched programs. So that's a good indicator for agents that are looking for training sessions to know which ones other agents are taking most regularly. I'm going to quickly go through all the training programs, but if you look at the program and services guide, you can see the stuff that is most highly watched. Now, I like to point out, you don't have to be a Lair agent to take our training classes. So you do have to register to take classes. The reason we make you do this, all you have to do is put your name and email address in order to take any class. The reason for that is we track everything. Training is so important. It's a vital piece of our company. That we want to know what agents are watching, how long they are watching it, at what point do they fall off, that the training classes are too long, because everything we do is based on that data. So if we put out training programs and nobody's watching it, or they're 45-minute programs and people are only staying for 20 minutes, we know that we have to change up the formatting and go to 20-minute classes, things like that. So that's why we require you to sign in. But any agent can go on to Lair University and set up a free account. All of our classes are free. Now, right now, none of the classes on Lair University are free classes. That's not our CE classes, I meant. So none of the classes on Lair University are CE classes. That does not mean that we don't offer CE classes. Right now, we offer CE classes through Zoom. We are eventually going to have a series on Lair University of free CE classes that you can take whenever you want. We're currently setting up, there's very specific guidelines on how to do that, but we are a Lair Real Estate Academy, so we do offer CE classes as well. None of these classes are currently CE classes. All right, most popular programs. So every month we add new training content. So basically what we do is throughout a month, we might do 20 live training classes. We then record them and put them on Lair University. So if you ever can't take a live class, don't even worry about it. It's going to end up on Lair University within a day or two. So if you click on any of these programs, you'll find a whole bunch of classes. So if you click on our How to Build a $10 Million Business series, you'll see every single winter, we offer a series where we interview high-performing agents that are closing at least $10 million a year in business, where they share their secrets, where they get their leads, how they do a listing presentation, how they do buyer presentations, you name it. It's one of our most popular series. You can go in and watch 3 or 4 or 5 years worth of those interviews. The Lair Agent Tool series that takes place every other Monday at 10 o'clock, those all get recorded and they put here. So if you're looking for classes on like Exact or eChecks or Showing Time or Real Scout or Toolkit CMA versus Cloud CMA, Lair University, you can find them under the Lair Tools series. I'm not going to go through all of them because we only have a couple minutes left, but you'll see once a month we do a live sales meeting, second Wednesday of every month. It gets recorded and it gets posted here. We have a social media series, a whole series on Boston Logic. Success Think with Phil Ciccio is all on mindset. This is like a 5 or 6 part series on mindset and manifestation, classes on Cloud CMA, business planning and goal setting, change your mind, change your life. You'll see we have classes on CRM systems. Everything at Lair, it's based off of G Suite. So we do have a series of classes on how to use G Suite, like how to use your, really leverage your email, Google Hangouts, Google Chats, Google Calendars, Google Drive, Google Doc. We have a section on listing and CMAs, marketing, dot loop. This is our whole dot loop series. And this is put on by our, dot loop team. A whole section on sustainability classes. So tons of great information. Over the summer, when COVID hit, we basically mobilized an entire program that took place over basically 60 days. And we had 150 speakers and trainers come on over a course of 60 days to teach our agents stuff. Some of our agents use Deposit Link for collecting escrow deposits. We have a section on tips on mortgages. And this is kind of boring, but it's important, is we have 30 plus locations with 30 plus printers, etc. This is all the, these are all little videos on how to install the printer drivers. So we basically have a very small group of the same types of copy machines at the offices. So we put together quick little videos so you know exactly how to download the printer driver at whichever Lair office you happen to show up at. So I'm going to just go back and share the program guide. Because that guide just shows you, again, these are all underlined. So you could just click on any of them and it'll take you right to the class. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time on this, but for Lair agents, we make it super easy for you to not have to go to an office for anything unless you want to. So download the Lair mobile deposit app so you can deposit your own escrow and operating checks. We also have Deposit Link if you want to enable sellers to be able to do ACH withdrawal of escrow deposits. And then we do everything by e-check. So we pay you by e-check. The reason is it's just easy. That means when we pay you, or if we are a co-broke check or a seller check on a transaction, everything gets emailed to you, so that you can print it and bring it to the closing or upload it to dot loop and share the check with the closing attorney. Just makes your life so much easier. So you'll see here, it also lists like what are the requirements we have. We try to make it as limited as possible on required forms when it comes to dot loop. We also put an entire page together on lead services. So we do update this regularly. These are on the left-hand side are all the different lead companies that charge referral fees. So if you want to get if you want to get regular leads and you don't want to pay a subscription fee for leads, all these companies have all different types of referral fee programs. I tell every agent sign up for all of them so that you have lead flow coming in from 30 different potential lead sources. We are also an OpCity partner company. We close about 350 transactions per month, and roughly 20 or so each month are OpCity leads. If you're interested in participating in the OpCity agent referral program, OpCity is owned by Realtor.com. So they're basically Realtor.com leads. OpCity does charge a referral fee of 35 to 38%, which is kind of high, but we still have a lot of agents that enjoy that program. So if you are a Lair agent and you want OpCity leads, just email Happy Agent and we'll add you to the program. All these other companies on the left, you have to go and apply individually. So we can't apply for you, you have to go apply. All the links on the right are companies that sell leads through a subscription platform that you pay monthly, and then they'll refer you leads. And then only a couple of more things. If you could just quickly, Len, talk about, so in the last 30 days, we went through, many of our agents use Cloud CMA to do CMAs. We wanted to have a more beautiful CMA. So our marketing team partnered with Cloud CMA and we built our own really beautiful listing presentation through Cloud CMA. Len, if you could just make sure our agents know how to access the Lair version when they go into the system.
Absolutely. All right, I'm just going to share my screen real quick. So the Cloud CMA is free for all the Lair agents. You have two ways of accessing it. If you have, if you're a Massachusetts agent and you have MLS PIN, or if you have Cape and Islands MLS, you are able to access Cloud CMA directly through your MLS. So you can see here on MLS PIN, it says Cloud CMA. Now, if you are a New Hampshire agent with NARIN, you will need to go to lairrealty.com. That's our main webpage. You would click login. Everyone has a login to the back end of the Lair website. You would sign in with your Lair email. If you don't know your password, let us know. Just email Happy Agent and we'll let you know what the password is. What you would do is you would sign in. And it's going to take you to the back end. And what you want to do is you want to go to Office Tools. You want to go to Single Sign-On. And there's the link for Cloud CMA. And what you do is it's going to take you into Cloud CMA. It's going to be, and it's what's provided by Boston Logic, which is our website provider. And once you go in, and you can see I have a few test CMAs going on here and everything. When you go in, one of the first things you want to do is you want to go over here and you'll see either your initials or maybe your photo. You want to click here. You want to go to account settings and you just want to make sure all the information in here is correct. It should automatically pull up Lair Realty Partners as your company name. Once you have that Lair Realty Partners listed as your company name, you will have access to the Lair branding and everything. So now the other way to get in, sorry, this thing was in my way, is through MLS PIN. One of the cool things about MLS is if you want to do a CMA, right? We're going to pick a couple of real quick, 01852. That's my zip code. And we're going to say the living space between 1600 and 22. We're going to erase everything and just choose sold properties. That leaves me 22 properties. And we're just going to go ahead and click on a bunch, maybe 5 of them real quick, right? But anyway, if you're going to do a CMA, you're going to go through MLS and figure out what properties you really want to use for your CMA. So you could start with no listings without choosing the listings, just go to Cloud CMA, or you can pick your listings here, click this blue button here, Cloud CMA. It's going to take you to the one that's connected to your MLS. And if you take a look here, you can see it's already picked and chosen the listings that you want, right? And so we're just going to say this is going to be Len Seller. Boom. And the address can be 33 Megan. As I type, I get choices. I pop here and it pulls some of the information from public records. Boom, boom. So once you have all that, you click Fetch Listings. And here we go. So this is pulled up. Let me just get this out of the way here. This is pulled up the 5 listings that I chose, and it shows you where the main property is and where the other properties are that I chose, right? And it's going to come down here and you can see the low is 300, the high is 382, the median is 360. And then you can pick and choose, are you going to use this one as your as part of your property? And you can also take a quick look at it, see more information about it. But since we're short on time, this is just a quick overview. After you've picked your properties, you want to click Customize Report. And this is going to take you to a very important page. Now, when you get here, if it already says Lair Realty Partners, then you're all set, right? but you can pick and choose what theme you want. Sometimes it's just going to be stuck on, say, modern blue and gold, right? What you'd want to do is you'd want to click this down list and scroll up to the top, find the branded. It'll only give you the choice of branding with Lair. You can't brand with Remax because you don't belong to Remax. And you just choose a theme, and it's going to put that theme into part of your CMA. Pages, we've added a lot of pages in. For Cloud CMA, you can add all the pages in if you want, or you can pick and choose which ones and say, you don't want to put that one in, or you can come back over here and you can add it back in. Also, you can say, well, maybe that's not the right place for it. I want to put this one. I want to put it, there's the page. You can see what it looks like. Boom, boom. You can click and drag. Here we go. You can click and drag the pages around. You can put them in any order you want. And then when you're done, actually, you can actually set that as your default. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click on Publish Report. So basically, we think this program is so much better than Toolkit CMA. With Toolkit CMA, if you want to choose your properties, you have to go in and you go through their system, and then you pick and choose them. Then you save it as a text file, and then you go back in, and then you open it up as a text file, import them that way. With Cloud CMA, it's just done. So, and here's the report. So the cool thing is you can do this as a PDF, right? Or you can view a live report. The live report is really, really awesome. Take a look at this. So you have the extra pages that Lair put in, right? And so if you want to say, you want to take a look at this page, you just click here. There's all the information. You can click down at the bottom and go to the previous page or the next page, or you can just go to here and go to the home. And here's the home page. The great thing about this is so you can do your presentation on a tablet or on your laptop, and it's all very interactive. So it's going to show you here is the cool part is here's the 5 properties that you chose, right? And so you can just sit here and go, right? And scroll through. You can actually click and take a look and see what the properties are. Or you can give this to the seller, and the seller can do this too. And you can see average pricing, some nice graphs and everything. Average price per square foot. I like this page. If you have more than just a 5 here, it comes out looking pretty neat. Time to sell, variations, boom. More information, why intelligent pricing is so important. But the whole thing is that everything is going to be branded with you and branded with Lair. Now, if we go back to this one I just did, I'm just going to click on View the PDF. And this might be the report that you want to print out and bind. And so here are all the pages. Now, I didn't put the Lair pages in the right order. I haven't gone through and done that to do it yet, but I should. But marketing team, professional photography, Lair cares, all this good stuff. And so now down here at the bottom, boom, 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 here is the comparative market analysis. And you're going to see that everything is going to have the Lair colors. It's going to be branded with Lair. All your information is going to be at the bottom of every page, your name, your cell phone number, and the Lair branding and on every page. So it's pretty awesome. So when you are doing a CMA, you get to pick and choose what pages you want to use. So, and you can always just go back. When we just did this one, you can always just go back and change things around. You can go back right over here to customize. Let's get that out of the way. And again, custom pages, guidance. You can say what is the short sale? You want that one in there, negotiating with buyers. There are so many different pages in here that you can add into, and it's all going to be branded with Lair and with you. All right, so that was a quick overview. Just remember, there's 2 ways to get in. If you are with MLS PIN or Cape and Islands MLS, then you can go directly through your MLS. If you are with NARIN, then you want to go to lairrealty.com. And remember that you want to sign in with your Lair email. It will take you to this back page. Oops, maybe it will, maybe it won't. There it is. Your back page is not going to look exactly the same, but you want to go to Office Tools and click on Single Sign-On. And it's right there. Boom. I hope all that makes sense. Anybody have questions?
I don't think so. All right, I'm gonna reshare. I got 2 more pieces and then we'll wrap it up for today. Let's see. Just going back to our guide, last couple of pages, there's a whole section, a business supply directory. These are things agents ask us for all the time. Sign installation companies, print marketing, business cards, postcards. I'm a huge fan of MLS mailings. This is a company that does set it and forget it, just listed, just sold postcards. So like it hooks into your MLS. So let's say you want 100 postcards to go out every time you list a property or every time you sell a property. You set it up in the system and it automatically goes out for you. But all of these are links. So most of these companies already have all of our Lair logos and stuff like that. So when you click on it, it's taking you over to the Lair page for that product. We also have an in-house transaction coordinating team. This is for as your business grows, you'll probably eventually get to a point where you either need an assistant to help you with your business or a transaction coordinator. We have a phenomenal transaction coordinating team. So it lists out all the different things they do. This is for agents that, like, as soon as you put a property under agreement, you don't want to work on that transaction anymore. You want to hand it over to somebody that takes over the entire transaction. So I put in all the stuff that they do. And then last, all of our office locations, we do have 30 plus office locations throughout Massachusetts and New Hampshire. As well, we are licensed in Mass, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and we are growing into those markets, soon opening offices in Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Use the offices. If you're a member of Lair Realty and you want to get into one of those offices anytime, you want to put a sign up front and say agent on duty, or you want to meet customers there or do a closing there, just email or text the Happy Agent team and tell them you need the code to the office, and they will tell you how to get into the office. With that, I think we are all set. We ran a little bit over. I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to all of our guests who came on today to talk about the different aspects of Lair. Thank you to all the agents who stuck in there for a 3-hour program, tons of info. Make sure to use this guide so that as you're figuring out your business for 2021, figuring out how you're going to have your best year ever, you have a nice organized manual to go to and click through to organize your business. With that, I want to wish everybody a happy weekend, and thanks again for joining us. Thanks, everyone.